Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here. Well, it's actually morning where we are. Depending on where you are watching around the world, we are live here from Avondale, Newfoundland, Labrador at Eastbound International Speedway for the Pro Line 225 presented by Quick Fire Starter. My name is Clint Jeffrey. I'll be joined by Adam Ross, who is down trackside, and we are live on the stream, just getting ready to go here with our pre-race ceremonies. We had rain out yesterday, and that brought us back here to an early morning race today. It looks like Mother Nature is going to let us get this race in at this awesome speedway we've been at here for the past couple of days, and some great action. And as we've been saying to the crowd here, we've just been treated fantastic by everybody here in Newfoundland. The welcome wagon was definitely rolled out for everybody here in NASCAR and our crew, and we certainly appreciate it. The excitement level here, and Adam and I will discuss this a bit later, the atmosphere here is like nothing else, and it's certainly awesome when we come to a new place, and just really cool to have everybody here. We've got a good starting field, and if you're just joining us for the season, the NASCAR Pinty Series has a heck of a battle going on. We've got 4 drivers at the top of our point standings, separated by 2 points. We got 2 drivers tied for the lead at 118 points each, and those are Kevin Lacroix and Alex Tagliani. Then we got Marc-Antoine Camerand, who's 117, 1 point behind, and then Gary Clute, who's only 2 markers behind, and it's even tighter than that. So you're going to see some drivers be happy, some disappointed today. We'll see some move up and down throughout the point standings, I'm sure, and a track nobody's ever seen before. What a unique place. We'll bring on Mike James here in a minute to talk about it, but he's helping us get the pre-race going down front. Mike's the promoter here, and looking forward to talking to him, picking his brain a bit, but this is a very unique speedway. Even the track surface itself, you know, you kind of come into turn 1, then you're uphill on the back straight, there's a little hump down the back, and then come down the hill into turn 3 and 4. It's just a great characteristics of this track. It's awesome to see, so we're excited to be here. We're just getting ready to go down trackside. You see the drivers getting strapped in. We get a look at the spotters up on this gorgeous tower we've got here at Eastbound International Speedway. If you're wondering where we are, well, we are about as east as you can go in Canada, about 40 minutes west of St. John's, Newfoundland, and eastbound to the world, right, Mike? That's what he says. Can't go any farther east in Canada than we are, and what countryside it is. It's absolutely beautiful around here. We'll bring in Mike James for a second. Mike, you're kind of doing double duty there, but how exciting is it for you being the promoter here to have NASCAR come to town and just see your fans and the packed house you had here yesterday? Obviously, the rain out puts a bit things, but you got to be pleased with how things came, aside from the weather, Mike.
Just unbelievable, man. Like, for 8 seasons, we've been running here since 2014, and since the very beginning of the true build of here in Avondale, we wanted the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, now the NASCAR Pinty Series. So it took a bit of time, but we finally made it happen. And I can tell you, everybody on our team is so proud here today to see this great field in front of us. They got a gnarly track in front of it. Every one of them, except for DJ Casey and our 2 local drivers, are quite virgin on this one. They got a bit of practice yesterday, but it's going to be great to see the uphill 18 degrees, 1, 2, and then downhill 3 and 4 into a flat track. But with the new upgrades with this series coming here, we got an extra 7 feet on that front stretch, which is going to add a little speed, and it's going to be amazing. But from all of us here at Eastbound International Speedway, we thank TSN and as well as the NASCAR Pinty Series for being a part of what we're doing here.
It's been great. It's no secret the East Coast knows how to do hospitality, and everywhere we went, Mike, just to see all the welcome signs, the town really rolled out the red carpet for this tour, and it didn't go unnoticed. I can tell you a lot of discussions we were having over dinner last night is this is how it should be when we roll into a place. This is how if we could be treated like this everywhere we go. And these are the places we should be going because they absolutely are rabid for the series and want it, and that's super exciting for these guys.
Well, fans here in Avondale coming all the way back from the dirt. Stock car racing started here in the 60s, but it kind of disappeared. But what Pat Squires and the family have built up over the years is absolutely incredible. And you can see it right here, all the fans that have been so part of our industry here over the last 8 years. And it's great to see a full house, and we're looking forward to a great day of racing. It's going to be awesome, man.
Fantastic looking cars out here. Once again, we are at Eastbound International Speedway here, live for the Pro Line 225 presented by Quick Fire Starter, and we're in Avondale, Newfoundland and Labrador. You see DJ Kennington down there, and man, he ever up his game this year. He's got her battle with the kids, got in the fitness program looking tougher and better than he has in a long time as we get ready for driver introductions. And Adam Ross's trackside, we'll send it down to him shortly here, but we're just waiting for the call from NASCAR Control to get things rolling, and that should be coming just any moment now. Mike, let's talk quickly. What classes do you race here on a regular basis, and what night do you go on, and a little bit about your regular stuff?
Well, we run from Victoria Day weekend to October. We have an IHRA drag strip, but also a NASCAR home track. So we're part of the Advanced NASCAR Auto Parts Series weekly series. We run our Division 1 late models, which is typically a 602 crate motor. We run our hobby stock program and our NX program, which is our Bandoleros and the U.S. Legends. So jam-packed schedule here throughout the year from May to October, but it's a hard run, but we get to rest in the winter.
We've been hearing a lot about the concerts you have here too. We had good parties going on here for the concerts. You had Skinnerd and a bunch of other bands.
Yeah, we've had quite a few bands here, from Little Big Towns to Skinnerd. It's been a while since we had that because of COVID and everything else. So we are a concert park, so looking forward to what the future holds for us. But this is an amazing concert park, 5,000 seat grandstand, great atmosphere.
All right, Mike, we'll let you get back to your duties. We're going to send it down trackside to Adam Ross here shortly, and we'll get ready to go in just a moment's time. VIP introductions will come down trackside. You see some of the drivers just stretching a little bit there. You see Brendan Watson shaking his arms. He's the pollster today, and funny enough, Brandon's a newcomer to the series. We had talked a lot about him possibly being the favorite, and he went out and laid down the quick lap. So watch that number 9 car as a rookie in Ontario. He was dominant on all the short tracks and just getting his feet wet here in his first NASCAR season. But Brandon Watson, one to watch. Then you got Trayton Lapswich on the outside, another car who is, this kid, what can you say about him? He's got a bright future. The family comes with a heck of a pedigree behind them, but Trayton has really upped his game. He's got one win already in the series this year, and he's been fast everywhere we go. So watch for those two guys to really adapt quickly. Mike, what else should people know about your beautiful spot here? Anything else you want to get out before we get into the business?
Well, let's talk about the 2 local drivers that are in this race.
Yeah.
Brandon McFarland, the 56. How cool is that to see him run the 56 with Jim Bray? 2016, we ran with Josh Collins in the series, and we actually tried to buy the 56. As you see on the hauler, Collins has been running the 56 for a long, long time, going all the way back to the dirt track. But the answer from Jim Bray was, hell no. I've been around NASCAR since 1952, and it's not for sale. But they partnered up, and they did a great job coming together. So Brandon McFarland from the Winging It Restaurants teams is going to be riding in the 56 here this afternoon, and he's had an incredible career here at Eastbound. The other driver, obviously, strapped in with DJ Kennington, Sarah Thorne. She came off a Bandolero Championship in 2016. She's got several wins in the Advanced Auto Parts Series. She's just 19 years old, an engineer. She is the representative of ladies at our track here. We've got a huge field of women now in our sport because of her.
That's
and
fantastic.
Several others. So, she only got an hour yesterday in the car, so I did get to catch a glimpse of her practice. She looks like she had a little trouble coming out of turn 1, but she didn't manage to square it up. So I'm interested to see what our 2 local drivers, because they do have that advantage.
These cars are tough to drive. The tires, the shock package, everything they've got, they're not the easiest cars to get around. So a bit of a learning curve there, obviously, for those 2 local drivers to try and figure it out. But cars are looking fantastic, and you can bet they'll be ready to go. We get a look at the Winging It 56 there as it pan down. And there we see the other car as we get rolling here. I think we're just about ready. See Adam standing down there, but we don't see much action yet.
Funny story on Brett Taylor. He was at the box office, and no one knew he was a driver, and they wouldn't let him in. Because I remember back to the Junos with Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
We were doing an after party, and Nelly Furtado wasn't allowed in. The security wouldn't let her in, and it was similar to what happened out in front there on Friday night. Taylor was there with his shirt on. They wouldn't let him in, and I looked at him. I said, "You look familiar." So.
Well, welcome everybody here to Eastbound International Speedway. Mike James, Clinton Jeffrey here, Adam Ross's trackside. Just getting ready to go trackside, and Adam, whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away. And we've been chatting up here. What a great day it is here back at the Speedway, Mike. How awesome to have the crowd back. A lot of people came back today, and you had a packed house here yesterday.
Yeah, she's definitely filling up here now again, and I'm so excited to see the fan supporting on the rain date here. So Great to have everybody here. This is going to be a wild, wild afternoon here for the Proline 225.
Well, welcome everybody watching live on the stream at home, wherever you are around the world. We appreciate you tuning into this gorgeous facility we've got here. We're set to roll these cars in about 5 to 10 minutes time. We're just going to get through driver introductions and a bit of anthems, and we'll be ready to go here shortly. A unique track here. Obviously, we've been talking about it on the stream a little bit as we got up and running here today. And, you know, Mike, what's going to be the toughest part for these drivers to get a handle on? Is it going to be the hump on the back straight? Is it coming down the roller coaster curve in turn 4?
I think right now is the bottleneck coming into 1 with the wide out with the extra 7 feet. Coming down to 4, they're going to have extra speed. But it really tightens up. If they go 3 wide down the front stretch and then they got to come into turn 1, it's going to get real tight up there.
All right, Mike, I think you got some official duties to take care of. So we're just waiting to get rolling here. Cars are all lined up, and we are just about ready to go racing for the Proline 225, presented by Quick Fire Starters. And once again, we're here at Eastbound International Speedway in Avondale, Newfoundland, and Labrador. If you're watching online, we appreciate you joining us here.
God love you. Welcome to Eastbound International Speedway for the Proline 225 NASCAR Pinty Series event. Better late than never. Thank you so much for coming back out. Before we meet the starting lineup for today's event, let's introduce some very special guests. Let's welcome from Proline, Abby McDonald. Let's give a big welcome in the flag stand to our honorary starter, Vernon Hobbin from Proline. And we're going to hear from her briefly when we get to the national anthems. Let's give a big round of applause to Sarah Squires. Now let's meet your starting lineup for the Proline 225. Starting 22nd from Ohsweken, Ontario, the GSR Ohsweken Speedway Chevrolet number 0, Glenn Stiers. Starting 21st in the Bay by Bay Limited Hickman Auto Group Dodge from Chance Cove, Newfoundland, the 28, Sarah Thorne. Starting 20th from Calgary, Alberta, the Fast Eddie North Country TCB Trailer Chevrolet number 3, Brett Taylor. Starting 19th in the OK Tire Peterborough, driven for Communications Dodge, number 71 from Peterborough, Ontario, Brian Cathcart. Starting 18th, from Toronto, Ontario, the RGC Sports Delta Bingo Valamo Chevrolet number 2, TJ Rinamato. Starting 17th, from Torbay, Newfoundland, the Wingin' It Restaurants, ECC, Miller Lite Chevrolet number 56, Brandon McFarland. So medals Olivier Ford, number 1, J.P. Bergeron. Starting 14th, from Oakville, Ontario, the Dooley's Trucking O'Neill Electric Dodge, number 84, Larry Jackson. Starting 13th, from Lachine, Quebec, the Viagra, St. Hubert, Quick MTN Chevrolet number 18, Alex Tagliani. Starting 12th, from Kanawaki, Quebec, the Bullies Truck Stop K Fiber Optic Chevrolet number 92, Dexter Stacy. Starting 11th, from Barrie, Ontario, the Leland IHL Group Chevrolet, number 64, Mark Dilly. Now, race fans, your top 10, starting on the outside of row number 5, from St. Thomas, Ontario, the Castrol Edge Cathcart Trucking CIM Metals Dodge number 17, DJ Kennington. To his inside, from St. Joseph de Beauce, Quebec, the Transit Easy Clean Fast Eddie Speedway Chevrolet number 8, Raphael Lassard. Starting 8th, from Bois-Chatel, Quebec, the Group Teej Incorporated XPN Chevrolet number 80, Donald Teej. Starting 7th, in the New Tech Wood Dodge number 59, from Halton Hills, Ontario, Gary Clute. Starting 6th, from St. Eustache, Quebec, the ESR Lacroix Tuning Boulangerie Dodge number 74, Kevin Lacroix. Starting 5th, from St. Leonard d'Aston, Quebec, the GM Paillet Chevrolet Canada Chevrolet number 96, Marc Antoine Cameron. Row number 2 on the outside, from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, the WeatherTech Belle-Mare Dodge number 47, Louis-Philippe Dumoulin. Starting 3rd, from Roxton Pond, Quebec, the GM Paillet Chevrolet Canada Chevrolet number 27, Andrew Ranger. Now, race fans, your front row, starting on the outside. In the FBM, RGC Sports Quick Chevrolet from Grimsby, Ontario, number 20, Drayton Lapsevich. And your pole sitter, He's a rookie in the series this season from Stayner, Ontario. The GMS Sheer Metal Products APC Chevrolet number 9, Brandon Watson. Race fans, that is your starting lineup for this afternoon's Pro Line 225. Before we give the most famous words in motorsports, we ask you all to please rise and remove your hats for the playing of the American National Anthem and the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
What's so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose stripes and bright stars through the perilous.
He's getting the flags right now.
O'er the ramparts we march, were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red land, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Hey, Steve, you don't
Now,
know
once
what's
again, we
wrong.
welcome Sarah Squires for the Canadian National.
Okay, I thought he said he never used it.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land,
Anyway, whatever.
true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true, known, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We are 1 minute away, race fans, from the most famous words in motorsports, and we will hear this field roar to life. These drivers have traveled across the country to go 225 laps for some of the greatest people we have had the pleasure of meeting in the 15 years of running this series. It has been an absolute privilege to come to Newfoundland, so we thank you for that. Race fans, one more time, it is my pleasure to introduce Abby McDonald to give the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engine!
Well, we'll be right back after a quick break here, getting ready to go live from Eastbound International Speedway, Avondale, Newfoundland and Labrador for the Pro Line 225 presented by Quick Fire Starter. We'll be right back with the start of the action. Welcome back live here from Eastbound International Speedway as we get set to roll the cars off for the Pro Line 225 presented by Quick Fire Starter. Mike, you got to say something to these fantastic fans. What can you say about your crew that came back to support you this weekend? It's just been fabulous.
It's been awesome, guys. It's going to be a great day of racing here. It is the Pro Line 225, and look at that beautiful Hickman Automotive Group Camaro official pace car out there bringing this crew around, man. I'm so jacked up. 22 cars in the field, boys. We got a great day ahead of us.
We appreciate the hospitality, Mike. We'll get Adam Ross in here to call the action with us. It's been fantastic. Adam said it best down there, Adam. We've never been treated this good in 15 years of all the places you've gone with this series. We talked about it extensively last night over dinner about how this is the type of spot this series should be going to.
And I'll tell you what, this event was supported. I mean, obviously, ProLine being the sponsor of this event, there's some prominent political figures here at this event, Clinton, and there should be. What an amazing tourist event. If you have never thought about visiting Newfoundland, let me tell you, consider it.
Yeah, I mean, the hospitality we found, we were welcome everywhere we go, but man, no matter whether it was restaurants, gas stations, corner stores, they just treated us fantastic down here. We're happy to have us, and we can't say enough about it.
No, absolutely not. And wonderful people, amazing views here in Newfoundland.
You look down the back straight, and you kind of see the little bit of elevation and de-elevation there as we look at the monitor as they work their way around here. We're still in Riel, just getting the pace laps rolling before we set to go. Adam, you and I talked before we even saw any cars on track yesterday that the 9 might be the guy, and there Brandon went and put it on the pole. He's an up-and-comer who's in this series anyways, but a veteran all over Ontario.
Brandon was one of the forefathers of racing before you were a teenager. Like, he ran a 4-cylinder stock car, I believe, at 12 years old. Lo and behold, so did our outside pole sitter, Trayton Lapsevich. Now, Brandon Watson is much older now. He's a veteran of the sport. Trayton Lapsevich, still a teenager, just graduated from high school. He's going to be going to York University in the fall, a very intelligent young man, and one hell of a wheelman.
Oh, man. The last 2 seasons he's had, if luck had played in, he would have won probably most of the races he was in. He was definitely a contender in every race, I think, Adam. I can't remember a week last year in all the events we saw Trayton where he was off.
1 lap to go. We're going to set these cars loose. Race fans, get ready for this place to roar to life. This racetrack has provided challenges for every driver in that field. The middle of these corners are blind to the drivers, meaning when you go into the corner, jersey barriers on the inside obstruct the view of the driver. So they are going to rely heavily on their spotters this afternoon. They're going to rely heavily on the give and take of their competitors. But Clinton, we are about to go green for 225 laps in the Pro Line 225 here at Eastbound International Speedway.
Feel really slow off of 4, Adam. Give us the call as we get ready to go green.
They wait for that green flag. It is in the air. Brandon Watson with a great launch off the inside. Andrew Ranger, he was ready for it. Ranger jumps up the inside as well. Oh! Hard contact into the front stretch wall by Brett Taylor. Punched one of those Jersey barriers right out of position.
Oh, boy.
And Brett Taylor's
Look at the front end of that car.
line 225 lasted about 150 feet.
I was going to say 225 yards, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Oh, boy. So they will have to do a bit of track work to get that barrier plopped back up on its feet.
Yeah, there will be some work involved. You can see some debris left there at the front stretch wall, and I'm not sure. Watching the starts of these races, you try as hard as you can to see everything that you can. I was watching the field through 1 and 2, how they were going to funnel in a string down into a single lane of traffic, and completely missed until Brett bounced off of that inside retaining wall.
We will go red here on the back straightaway for a moment to get this turn 1 area cleaned up. We can see the debris strewn across the speedway there.
Brett is moving around inside the race car. There he's climbing out. Race fans, how about a big round of applause?
You know, Adam, we saw Brett on George Street last week, and he went to bed early last night to make sure he could have a good day, and this is just compounding things even more for him here.
He knew it was going to be a long day. He had to come through the field, a former winner in the NASCAR Pinty Series, and you can tell by his body language he is disappointed as he immediately climbs over the wall and heads back to the infield.
He's the driver that come the farthest, no? Calgary?
This week he is, yeah, he is so. Calgary, Alberta is where Brett Taylor calls home. And Todd Lewis from TSN immediately greets him. So, and keep in mind, folks, you're going to be able to watch this race next weekend on TSN in high definition. So watch it today live. We're thrilled that you could be here. But one of the fun things, you get to watch it again the next week and see and hear things that you might not have caught here today, but serious impact to the inside barrier for Brett Taylor.
Yeah. Destroy the front end of that car.
And think of it, these Jersey barriers, obviously from the fact that the Jersey barrier tipped over, do absorb a lot of impact. But I believe the next Jersey barrier might have been what caused more of the damage.
So we'll let them continue to clean up here. They should have that car towed out here in just a moment's time. They've got all the debris off the track, so that's good. We'll just have to see how long it takes them to put that piece back into the puzzle, but shouldn't be too much of a delay.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, you can see Brett done his interview walking back towards his team. What disappointment. And as you say, Clint, we saw Brett last night. He was excited. He knew he had a lot of work to do. He says, I got to get my rest. I got to drive through this field. We've watched him do it. And today, just not his day. So the next thing we should do is scan the field for damaged race cars.
Yeah, good point. Who was back there around him?
I'm terrible for losing my paperwork. Here we are. So Brett Taylor, in fact, Brett was one of the cars that was supposed to go to the back of the field for unapproved adjustments, I believe. So he may have started at the very back, even though he was listed as starting in, no, we introduced him as 20th. He had qualified 12th, so he was near the back of that field. So we will look for damage to the front end of Sarah Thorne or Glenn Stiers. And from this vantage point, we have a pretty good look at both of those noses. I don't see any damage, and I don't see much damage to the tail of any of the cars in front of them, Clint.
Well, we're looking at the left side, Adam. I'm thinking if he got hooked, it would be the right side that might have caught and hooked him into that inside barrier. So we'll have to wait and see till those cars come around and we can get a look at the other side of the front end of those machines.
You make a good point.
Once a race.
Yeah, don't
get lucky.
Don't spend yourself too early.
My name's Clinton Jeffrey. I'm joined by the voice of the series, Adam Ross. Adam, you've toured all over the country. We talked about it a lot here. Just amazing to see the characteristics of the track, the way we've been treated. The whole atmosphere here is just amazing. If you never visited the East Coast, it's a place you've got to check out.
It's spectacular. I think that's the word I would use. Ironically, Clinton, the place this venue reminds me of the most, and the people, is Vernon, British Columbia. Sun Valley Motor Speedway. It's a similar layout. There's a huge hill off the back of the speedway, and there's people sometimes perched in different spots to take in the action. Just a very similar vibe, and again, friendly Western Canadian folks. But it does remind me of that facility, which we don't visit any longer. It's actually closed down, unfortunately. But it sure has been an experience, of course. And the fun part is all of the teams basically were staying in St. John, so getting to socialize with the gang. We're basically a traveling circus.
Yeah, but you bring in a good point. You know, a lot of the other places we go, a good portion of the drivers, staff, and teams get to go home to their own beds. If we're in Quebec, a bunch of them get to go home. This is one of those races where everybody has to venture out. Everybody's kind of on tour this weekend. And it was great. Even for us, we see these guys all over the country, but it's just cool when you're walking down through the streets last night and you're seeing all the people. And I think everybody from the tour got out to experience. And that's not something we see a lot of the places we go. You know, they just go back to the hotel, do their thing. But I saw everybody sightseeing.
It used to be the case when we would go to Montreal, when the NASCAR Xfinity Series was racing in Montreal, and we were a part of that program. And I think there was a lot of pride for these teams to be able to bring their people to a great city like Montreal and tour around and have good times. Okay, we've got a bit of a look here. Man, oh man, that car just almost as though, we don't want to speculate too much, but it's almost as though he broke a left rear axle and only the right side was driving, because that car just turned hard left, seemingly on its own, or broke something in the steering that would have turned the car hard left.
Yeah, so just so you know what we're talking about, someone caught it on a phone up here, and they're showing us the replay. Mike James actually caught it he was filming the start, caught it on his phone. A high five there for
I thought he was
camera.
I thought he was surfing the internet.
I thought he slapped you in the back of the head there for a second when I heard that. No, but yeah, very strange, Adam. He had car length in front of him and behind him. There was nobody near that car, and it just broke loose on his own. And it's not a place you would think. I see it coming on a 4. You know, he get loose, get on the gas too hard, twist it off. But he should have been lifting there, not
and that
on it.
That could have been that too. It could have been under braking and something fails in the brakes. And these cars are. Now, he spun out in practice yesterday as well.
Yeah, right here in turn 4. That was the one we saw, so maybe something's not right there.
Innocent spin, but you just never know. And as I say, we could chat about it. A little heavy on the left side brake.
Great job by the track crew. We were watching a bit there on the stream as we were chatting away, and they've got it all back together. Fantastic job to get the wall back in place, and we should be ready to go here in just a moment's time. And as we say that, the pace car pulls away.
So this is race number 4 of the 2022 NASCAR Pinty Series. We have a tie atop the point standings. Kevin Lacroix in the 74, Alex Tagliani in the 18 lead the points. 1 point behind is Marc-Antoine Camirand in the 96. 2 points behind is Gary Clute in the 59. I mean, how close? Basically, our championship is a chase.
The top 6 are divided by 5 points, which is crazy.
Especially considering by the time we get to the end of this season, we'll have visited road courses, street courses, oval tracks, dirt track. So the champion of the NASCAR Pinty Series truly is a championship race car driver, because they have endured and overcome many different surfaces.
We see a bit of an elevation there on the back straight. It's hard to tell, but we came in our rental car yesterday. Coming out of 2, it goes up the hill till you get to the pit point, then down the hill back to 3. 15 feet elevation.
And talking to Brandon McFarland before the race, local driver, he said you really need a good spotter. You need a good relationship, because they have to give you information quickly. You have to be able to process it, react to avoid the accidents. 1 to go. We're going to stack them up once again. It should be basically the same order. If I'm Trayton Lapsevich, I got to be up on the wheel. Andrew Ranger got a dynamite start at the opening green flag to take the lead.
Well, Brandon got out front in the 9 car, Watson really fast, and that let Ranger fill the gap and basically, effectively, put Lapsevich in row 2 that quickly.
And it could be a long ride backwards. These racers are very talented at filling the gaps. If someone gets hung up on the outside, you're not going to get much break from these competitors. Here we go again, race fans. Brandon Watson on the inside in the number 9. Trayton Lapsevich up high in the 20, and they're off.
Yeah, Trayton got a way better restart that time, able to hang on the right quarter of the Watson number 9. Ranger trying to fill the gap once again on the bottom.
Down the back straightaway, Rangers dives it down into turn number 3. They continue to battle side by side. Ranger inches ahead. Marc-Antoine Cameron fills that hole to the inside. Lapsevich unable to close the door.
Watson pulling away to a 3-car length advantage as they get onto the back straightaway. Rangers second, and Marc-Antoine Cameron has had speed everywhere we've gone at him. Will he show it early today?
If he has it, he's going to show it. The field strung out single file very quickly. DJ Kennington working the inside of Rafael Lazar down in 1 and 2. Kennington, Daytona 500 veteran in the Castrol Edge number 17. Looks like he's going to complete that pass, and now Rafael Lazar will try to get down in front of his quasi-teammate, Dexter Stacy, in the 92.
Adam, they had the left side of the Lazard car jacked up before they grid. I can only assume it was a battery issue, but able to keep his spot, working the outside now as we get a look at him on the outside of the Stacy 92. Dilly there in the 64 as well.
And you'll see when you're up on the outside on the front straightaway, there's a significant bump just past the start-finish line. So I'm going to see our race leader, Brandon Watson, comes off at turn 4. Yeah, just there, you see the nose kind of bounce as they come down right where the permanent concrete wall ends, right in that opening. But this is what we expected, Clinton. We expected laps to click away, people to settle into their pace.
Boy, Watson looks really good today. He's streaking away from this field. We've seen Ranger and Cameron both have good runs as well. Now yellow for DJ Kennington against the fence here in turn number 4 out with a flat right front.
Flat right front tire. And the veteran that he is, that was deliberate. To come in front of the leader, Brandon Watson, will keep him on the lead lap. The pace car is going to pick up Brandon Watson. And I'm not sure, it would not surprise me if DJ Kennington catches the field instead of coming into the pits right now. He may choose to run one more lap on a damaged right front tire because they're not doing crazy speeds. If he comes in now, he will lose a lap, and he is going to come down pit road, and you see the pace car right behind them. They won't be able to change that right front in that short amount of time, but also he has tagged the wall. You can see the right rear tire on the 17 with concrete dust. So if you blow a right front tire, it is very difficult to keep a car off the wall on a track this fast.
Good highlight of the Castrol Edge team getting the work done for DJ Kennington. You got to wonder, Adam, when you hit both sides of the car like that, you know, he obviously tail slapped the rear, so.
They'll be looking right now at track bar mounts, things like that on the inside of the car. Make sure no welds are broken, make sure nothing is broken apart, because same thing, if you go out on the track and the rear end is askew in that race car, you run the risk of crashing even harder. DJ Kennington, 7th in the points coming into this race, 10 points back from the lead. He has lost one lap, and it looks like he'll get out ahead of the pace car and keep himself one lap down. Not a terrible place to be.
No, because, you know, you get the free pass to come around, beating the first car one lap down at the next caution if he remains that way. DJ's fast enough that he can probably maintain that first car lap down for a bit unless he has other problems. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for the veteran.
He'll want a quick yellow because if this race goes green, say 20 laps, there will be lap traffic. He's going to come back down pit road. The crew again heading over to the front of the car.
Lift to the hood.
I would imagine they're going to look at the front end alignment, front suspension on that 17, make sure things are the way they should be.
It goes back down.
And this is choreographed. This team knows what it needs to do, how quickly it needs to do it. Everything happens in about 30-second blocks under yellow.
That was impressive to get in, lift the hood, check it out, get the hood back down, and stay on the lead lap here.
And
on the same lap.
On the same lap. DJ will be giving instructions from behind the wheel. So Ted McAllister travels with DJ as the crew chief, but they basically take on a co-crew chief role because DJ knows these cars inside and out.
Well, knowing what you want is a big part of the success he's had. And we were talking earlier about how Adam has really upped his fitness game a bit, his health regimen. He's dropped a lot of weight. He looks great. He knows if you're going to go out and battle guys like Trayton Lapsevich and these young kids, you can't be an overweight 40-something-year-old.
I feel like that was personal, Clinton.
I was looking at you, but it wasn't directed at you. But what is directed at you is this restart. Brandon Watson coming right to us here off of turn number 4. Green flag is out again, and look at the jump Ranger got on the outside. Ranger noses out front, and can he pinch him down and kind of squeeze it away? But Watson, the veteran, Ranger got a bit loose and had to back out, and now they drag race into 3.
It's a calculated move by Andrew Ranger. They could call him for jumping that start. Normally you want to see them give that lead back. Andrew Ranger out front of Brandon Watson. No word from NASCAR officials just yet, but a bold move by Ranger up on the outside.
And the penalty would be?
Penalty would be a pass-through penalty, but looking at the starter, Mike Charest, he's standing in position, not reaching for a black flag or anything of that nature, so we continue.
Watson thought he had a good run there. He was streaking away, and then all of a sudden Ranger said, oh, no, I'm here. And Ranger now will take the lead with Watson second. Ranger's teammate Marc-Antoine Cameron runs third. Trayton Lapswich fourth, and LP Doolin top 5.
DJ Kennington has already put a few cars between himself and the back of the field. Alex Tagliani up the racetrack. Larry Jackson goes by. The 56 of Brandon McFarland. Talk to him. Brandon said, if I can find a guy like Larry Jackson and learn, run behind him, run some laps, get comfortable in the car. That's exactly what he's doing so far. A nice steady march towards the front.
Looking at 6th on back, it'd be Lacroix in the 74. And he's got the Donald Teague 80 right there. Gary Clute, Mark Dilley, and the 92 of Dexter Stacy.
Watch the run Larry Jackson gets off of turn 2. He got to the inside, so it spoils it a little bit. He's going to make a pass, but he is really flying off the second turn, getting great forward bite as he works the inside of J.P. Bergeron off of turn 4.
Watson got the lead back and is driven away from Ranger as we were talking about other things.
You try to find the action. I thought they were settled down at the front of the pack, but Brandon Watson obviously wanted that lead. Ranger's car looks a little bit loose on corner entry.
Watson's car looks like his super late he would have ran back in Ontario, and that thing looks fantastic today.
So Watson out in front by about 10 car lengths over Andrew Ranger. He's got Marc-Antoine Cameron right behind him, not really applying a lot of pressure, and they've got a gap of 6 or 8 car lengths back to Trayton Lapswich in the 20, LP Dumoulin. That's just a string of aggressive race car drivers. Lapswich, Dumoulin, Lacroix, Teague, Gary Clute. Mark Dilley, this is as good as we've seen Mark Dilley run in a long time, and that's refreshing to see.
Dilley currently hanging on to position number 9, just ahead of Wallace Stacy, and just behind the 59 of Gary Clute, who's having a pretty good season so far. Adam back full time with the series. Clute is one of those drivers in that top 6 mix. He's running position 4 in the point standing.
Yeah, 3 top 10s in the first 3 races, so they haven't got the ultimate result they wanted, but
nearly a win at CTMP.
That's right.
Got
and steady, solid finishes. Larry Jackson getting a little racy. Brandon McFarland closing in at that winging at number 56. As DJ Kennington sails that car down into turn number 1, but gets a rocket launch off of 2. That's a great 5-car battle, a little deeper in the pack, as I just saw smoke up. Donald Teague. Donald Teague in the 80 comes up to the outside. I think he might have tagged the wall along the front stretch. Unless he blowed up. I'm sure I saw some smoke here. It's either concrete dust. Is that speed camera still there?
Smoke off the Ranger 27, we're getting reports of, Adam. Second place driver out there right now in that Paillet Chevrolet, number 27.
Flat right front tire for Donald Teague.
And yeah, look at the concrete dust, Adam. He did whack that wall. By the looks of it.
So for those of you who have not been actively following the NASCAR Pinty series, I love the combination we have of Andrew Ranger with crew chief Caden Lapswich. Multiple championships are represented on that team. Of course, Caden was the youngest NASCAR Touring Division champion ever when he won that title. He only got to hold on to that historic tag for a short while because Todd Gilliland, about a month and a half later, won his championship and became the youngest touring champion ever. But Caden Lapswich is the crew chief of the 27 of Andrew Ranger.
Crew taking a long time to put that new right front sneaker on the Teague 80 down there. So they must see something else they don't like. Now they finally lift up in place. Let's roll a. We have a quick replay here on the stream, Adam, of I think it's the Ranger car smoking. Yeah, a little bit of smoke out of the back there. It comes down on a 4, and you can see it. Oh, big trail. And no, play it again. I think that was out the pipes.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was out the exhaust pipes.
Not a good start for the 27. I mean, he's running well, but that could be a problem. And there you see DJ Kennington already. Adam, this will be his free pass, and as we said, not really too much of an issue for him. Man, that smoke is not looking good out to 27. We'll watch that when we go back to green flag action. Once again, joining us here for the Pro Line 225 from Eastbound International Speedway here in Avondale, Newfoundland, Labrador.
Looks like Donald Teach might be done.
Yeah, window net down, starts taking the gloves off. That'll be all she wrote.
Donald Teach has been around stock car racing a long, long time, but he hasn't lost any of his passion. You will probably see a visibly upset individual when he climbs out of this race car because he wears his emotions on his sleeve. In fact, Raphael Lessard got the opportunity to race for Donald Teach last year because Donald got angry coming out of a race car, punched a pit box, and broke his hand, so he was out of commission for a little while. One to go, so DJ Kennington will come around the pace car, will stack the field up again, keep a close eye on the 27 of Andrew Ranger, and is that car going to hold up for the 225 lap distance here in the Pro Line 225?
They'll double up again, and Watson will try not to let them get away like they did the first time, or the last time, I should say.
No, and these drivers, they learn. Every restart, they learn something, and Brandon saw what Andrew was playing there. So he'll have the antidote. DJ Kennington has joined the tail of the field, so everyone on the racetrack is on the same lap. 32 laps into this Pro Line 225.
Watson gets going, and again,
Ranger rolled around the outside. Watson saw what he was doing, so he waited and waited, but even still, Ranger got a great launch. And I'm not sure if that's gear ratio or if there's just better traction up on the outside, but Brandon Watson, again, will put that in his notebook as they battled side by side down into one, smoke trailing out the exhaust of that 27.
Yeah, not looking good at all.
Door to door down through 3 and 4. Watson on that preferred inside groove. If there's anyone who enjoys the outside lane, it is Andrew Ranger in this Pinty series. And we want to be careful. Brandon Watson, we've seen DJ Kennington with the flat right front. I believe Donald Teach's right front went down because of contact with the wall, but we can't be sure. But Brandon Watson doesn't want to risk contact with a car outside of him.
Watson, patient racer, knows this is a long game here today. Doesn't need to run away, but he kind of is. Marc-Antoine Cameron up in a second now. That'll put his teammate Ranger back into position number 3.
Close quarters, bit of contact between LP Dumoulin in the 47, Kevin Lacroix in the 74. Gary Clute, an interested spectator in that one. He'll get to the inside of the 74 as well as DJ Kennington already making some moves.
Clute pushing hard on the back door there of the LP Dumoulin 47, and still smoke pouring out of the 27 of Andrew Ranger.
I'll tell you who we need to keep an eye on today too, Clinton, is the Zero. The blue and white Zero of Glenn Stiers. That car, contact between Gary Clute and LP Dumoulin. Dumoulin trying to pinch Clute down the racetrack, but he is in the wrong lane to be dictating the line that Clute wants to run. But Glenn Stiers, that car has not run properly in 2 races now. They battled it all through practice. It clearly is running on all 8 cylinders today, so he finally knows what a car is supposed to run like here at this racetrack. So he's learning as he goes what that car is going to do, but he's able to keep pace with the pack.
Yeah, looking really good. And now, as we watch the battle for first, second, and third, that 27 is getting worse, Adam. Any thoughts on what it could be?
Not good. My official diagnosis is not, and it's when he lets off the throttle, and the trouble with that is quite often an engine will blow up when you let off the throttle, and Andrew Ranger's getting down to the inside of the racetrack.
It's over.
I've never understood why that is either. You would think an engine would blow up when you're hard on the throttle, but quite often it's when you lift. And Andrew Ranger going to roll to a stop on the inside of 1 and 2. That's going to lead to a caution. We'll stack the field up once again. What do you think, folks, race fans here in Eastbound International Speedway? Are these drivers putting on a show or what? An amazing display. If you did nothing else so far, Clinton, but watch DJ Kennington, you've seen some amazing driving. Andrew Ranger climbing out of that number 27. And again, he was in great spirits this weekend. Chatting with him at the hotel earlier on, he comes in 9th in the points, 19 points off the lead. This is going to be a big blow, because this is going to push him out of the top 20. I don't believe we've got anyone out of the race, so he will probably be scored 21st. Donald Teague is out.
Well, the road course at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park was running good, bouncing over the curbs, tore out the oil pan of the car. That took them out of that race. Last race he won at Chaudier, and now finds himself here with big problems once again. What you could say is probably an all-star cast on that team. You know, as the guys you mentioned, Joe Chisholm Jr., veteran spotter, you got all kinds of guys out there to try and make that one go. And it's got to be extra frustrating when you're fast. Like, you could be mid or backpack and have these problems like Glenn Stiers did over the weekend, which is problems. But man, when you're a top 3 car, you're battling for the lead. You can handle the leaders. And another one of the big contenders here in the pits. He's tied for the points lead. Alex Tagliani in pit road, Adam.
So a chassis adjustment in the left rear corner and
air pressure on the right front. I think.
It looked to me to be an air pressure adjustment.
Try to get that car to rotate a bit better.
And I'm surprised pit road was open, because the exit of pit road is blocked. If you want to see a race car driver, you could almost see the smoke coming out of the helmet of Alex Tagliani. They have him blocked in.
Yeah, so what happens now? Is will he get his lap back? Does he go down? I would think they should.
He's a lap down. You can't open pit road if there is something obstructing pit road.
So
right?
Should they give him his lap back?
Yes.
I think they should.
They won't.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. You see it enough, and for people who
but
are
what if he
fans
goes down 3 or 4 laps here?
Well, you saw the official go running down. They are trying to move things right now and get things into position. And one official, Amy Wong saying, or maybe that's Gloria. I think it's Gloria Ang at that end of pit road, Amy Wong at the entrance. But tapping Alex Tagliani's car saying, get going. Now, where's Tagliani's crew?
Oh, right over here.
I'm surprised we don't see a crew chief
yelling
next to an official.
Oh, you see, well, we got, I think maybe Sam Putnam strutting a little bit closer down there. I don't know, not too close, buddy.
Yeah, you'd be leery to go down there. I mean.
Oh, he walked right over to talk to them, so we'll see what comes of it. Tags is passing cars, so is he going to drive around and get his lap back? That's what's happening here?
You know what? I would commend NASCAR if they do that.
It looks like that's what's happening.
It's absolutely the right thing to do. So whether NASCAR's doing it or whether Alex Tagliani's doing it, maybe they won't notice.
I mean, he's just taking it back himself.
But really, if they do, and that's one of those situations where the challenge is, Clinton, the rule book is written in black and white. You've got to be careful, because if it's in the rule book, you have to enforce it. In this case, common sense prevails, and hats off to the NASCAR officials. Caitlin Patrick just walked over and said, Alex is being given his lap back.
Well, here's my thing, Adam, and you know, I'm a promoter myself too, right? And we have to manage a lot of races. I think if you can stand in front of all the teams and say, hey, if it was you, we would do it for you too. And I think that's a big thing that comes a long way without getting everybody, favoritism and all that other stuff. When they pulled down pit road to do their work, they had no idea that end would be blocked. At which point, as you said, they opened up pit road. He comes in, figures he's good to go.
Yep. I'll tell you a story. The Oswego Classic Super Modified race, and this is probably 30 years ago, but his name was Danny Sewells, was leading the race. Yellow came out, and the officials called him to pit road because they thought he was leaking oil. So he went into the pits. A Super Modified has to be pushed off to start. He sat in the pits for 4 laps while they looked under the car to find oil leaking. They didn't find any oil leaks, so they let him go back onto the track 4 laps down.
That's rough.
It was just such
Especially the Classic. I mean, it's the biggest super modified race.
And the driver didn't choose to go into the pits. They led him into the pits. So anyhow,
We were talking about it last night over dinner, and someone was talking about in that race they used to give away a 6-pack of beer for second place, and Warren Conium rode around purposely in second for like 200 laps just to stockpile the beer, and then went on and passed him at the end to win the race.
It was 130 laps, which is 680 cans of Budweiser beer.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We'll watch the restart once again. Watson gets the jump he needed that time, and Cameron got a bit loose, and now Trayton Lapswich right on the back door of the 9.
Gary Kloop with an aggressive move to get to the inside, just in front of LP Dumoulin. So Brandon Watson with a good start out in front. They're side by side for second.
DJ Kennington tried to take it 3 wide on the outside of Stiers. And the McFarland car, Stiers backed out. Now it's 2 wide as DJ trying to work his way. But up front, it is the 20 of Trayton Lapswich trying to chase down the 9 of Brandon Watson.
What you'll find DJ's doing is just sailing his car into the turn up on the high side. He's rolling an extra car length to 3 car lengths every turn when he goes to the high side. It's impressive to watch. Further back, we've got Mark Dilley on the inside in the number 64 of Dexter Stacey in the 92. Behind them, it's Raphael Lessard in the number 8 and JP Bergeron in the 1.
Well, back to Kennington, sometimes desperation brings results, and he's just throwing it in there to try and catch it. He's learning, it's sticking up here, and we can roll it a bit better. And it is working for him. He works to the outside of Larry Jackson, 84. And that pack is tight right in there.
We're 53 laps into this. There's going to be a break at around lap 113. So 60 laps from now is when we expect to see the break. Halfway in this race, they'll go to the pits. They'll take on some fresh General tires, and they'll feel like heroes for a while once again with fresh rubber. So Kennington knows he's got to have that right front last for another 60 laps. But in the meantime, he's going to work it.
Watching the Kevin Lacroix car as he tries to work on the back end here of the Kloop 59. That's probably the best battle we've got on the Speedway right now as they battle for that position number 5 and 4. Well, 4 and 5, I should say.
Dilley and Stacey side by side. Raphael Lessard actually took a look coming off of turn number 4. I don't think he would have made it 3 wide, but he's sort of testing the waters on what kind of drive he can get off the corner.
Watson has streaked off to the backside. A long gap out front. Doesn't want to wear stuff out too soon.
Dexter Stacey is hands full of steering wheel in that 92. He's driving it in deep, getting on the gas, turning the car sideways. Mark Dilley has to be a little bit wondering what's going on up there as he's running the inside of the racetrack. Raphael Lessard trying to follow through Dexter Stacey in the 92, but he couldn't make it work.
Yeah, not seeing the speed we normally would out of Raphael, or what you would expect here out of him. A veteran driver, seen a lot of new places himself. You figured he'd be one of the quickest to adapt.
You would think so, and it is still a long race. There's a lot of racing left to go.
165 laps as we cross the stripe this time by.
Now Kennington to the inside of Raphael Lessard. We haven't seen him do a lot of passing on the inside, but there goes Kennington to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll squirt ahead of that number 8, so DJ Kennington putting on a show.
Kennington with Lessard behind, Dilley out front, Dexter Stacey just ahead of them as they cross the light.
Yeah, the top 6 cars have to be pretty satisfied with how things are going. They're kind of settled in. Sarah Thorne, you can see her learning lap after lap. She's racing with a real veteran. Brian Cathcart in that 71 has a lot of experience. Also a longtime supporter of various race teams, not the least of which DJ Kennington, supported by Cathcart Trucking.
Send a shout out to Jackson also. He was telling us yesterday, picked up Dooley Trucking, the local company here, came on board for the weekend, and that's awesome.
You love seeing things like that. And local companies supporting teams, local racers getting involved. That's what it's all about, is going across the country and allowing a local track's top drivers to come out and compete with our series top drivers. And it's fun everywhere we go. Mark Dilley up the racetrack in 1 and 2, and that number 64, that allows Kennington to get by Raphael Lessard as well. Mark Dilley may lose a bunch of spots.
Well, the Bergeron car is going to jump right in there as well, and the one he'll stick it underneath the Dilley 64 and take that position. You can bet Jackson's going to try and get in there as well.
Good run off the corner for Larry Jackson as he drives up along the driver's door of Mark Dilley. You can see Dilley, I don't know if he hesitated because he couldn't get the power down, and Dilley closing the door on gentleman Larry Jackson. People take advantage of Larry Jackson. He's just so kind behind the wheel. If he's faster, he'll pass you. But Larry might get a little bit fired up here and try to make a move on Mark Dilley. That's a little premature early.
Still trying to ease the nose in there on the 64 car. That's the battle to watch on the Speedway as we work with 1:57 to go.
Larry number 64, we can expect Brandon McFarland to do the same. He shadowed the 84 machine most of this race, and I think it's a great choice by Brandon McFarland to turn laps, learn what the car's going to do, how it's going to change over a long run. He saw how Larry Jackson passed Mark Dilley. Now let's watch Brandon McFarland try to do the same thing.
Got eyes on the leader.
Oh, Sarah Thorne going a lap down. They split the difference. Creighton Lapsevich to the outside. Mark Antoine Cameron to the inside. Welcome to the NASCAR Pinty Series.
And they will take care of the Thorne 28. Dumoulin trying to get through there now as well. LP struggling a bit today in the 47.
Glenn Stiers to the inside of Mark Dilley. So Mark Dilley might have a problem in that number 64. Further ahead, DJ Kennington trying to get to the inside of Dexter Stacy in the 92. So Kennington is on the charge.
Kennington rebounding fairly good from that. A yellow would certainly help him out dramatically here and put him right on the back bumper of the lead pack.
Sarah Thorne is struggling out there in that 28 right now, and I'm not sure if she has burnt up the right front on that car. You can't drive these race cars into the corner as hard as you can. A typical late model that you would run here at this racetrack. These are heavy cars, the brakes aren't that great, and there's lots of horsepower.
That's where it's playing a little bit difficult to drive these cars if you're not used to them. The shock package is a lot different than most other situations as well.
And it makes for great racing. The cars are a handful to drive. They wear down as the tires get older, as the brakes get worn out. Kevin Lacroix working the inside of Gary Clute. That's a battle for the 4th spot as they race down into turn number 1.
Gets up on the inside. Back to it. 150 to go. 150 laps to go here in the Pro Line 225, presented by Quick Look Fire Starters for Eastbound International Speedway.
Here I was so impressed with the math you were doing, and I just looked over at the monitor to see that it's being done for you.
Yeah, no math. I have an abacus here that counts off for us every time. Do you even know what abacus is?
I do recall. Like, I'm nowhere near as old as you are, but I do recall what an abacus is.
You know what? I'm sad to admit, but they taught us math with an abacus in grade 2, I think.
Yeah, I seem to recall that.
Either that or it's just something we could play with because it had beads on it, but who knows?
It made a fun sound. Oh, trouble. Turn number 1, Wallace Stacy goes around in the 66. Not sure if he had help from Mark Dilley in the 64. We're getting reports that he went around by himself. Quite a little stretch of green flag racing. Wallace Stacy gets that 66 spun around, pointed in the right direction. Let's look through the field. Brian Cathcart unofficially would get the free pass, which would leave Sarah Thorne, the only car a lap down. She's done a great job, and one of the ways we look at how good a driver is doing is by if you can still read the general tire on the outside of their tires, and you don't see rubber marks all up the side of the car, they're having a good run. Let's give you an example, Clint. Who's got donuts up the side of their race car?
It's been fairly clean. I don't see a lot of it yet.
There's been a bit of rubbing. That's what I say. It's not, you know, we've seen events where the bodies get torn off these race cars. They're fiberglass bodies on the NASCAR Pinty Series cars. But yeah, you're right. A couple of donuts on Gary Clute, 59. And that just signs of close racing. It's not a super wide racetrack, and sometimes these drivers will lean on each other. JP Bergeron in the 1 with a couple of donuts.
Mike, tell us about the pace car.
As official base car from our big sponsor, Hickman Automotive Group. It's a special edition, brand new Camaro that they brought in yesterday. The owner himself was polishing it up. We set it up with the wheel and lights for this weekend, so great to see it out there, and big thank you to Hickman Automotive Group and the Chevrolet Group.
Thanks, Mike. Gorgeous ride. And Dilly on pit road here right in front of us.
I really hope, Clinton, when I was in line yesterday at the concession, we met some amazing people, but we met the Keats family for one. They're here from Labrador.
Okay.
Churchill Falls, Labrador. I believe we were told that's more than a 40-hour drive. There's a boat involved. Okay, so that adds to the math. But they did explain there's 900 kilometers of highway, and only 27 of it is dirt anymore. So they've come a long way. Wow.
Now, I know we did partake in a couple of bubblies last night down on George Street, but did I hear it was a 16-hour ferry ride for all these teams to come over here?
Yeah, for the haulers to come across.
That's crazy. After they already drove 20 hours, right?
Or as one of the passengers said, 16 hours or one really good drunk.
That wasn't me.
Do as you will.
Here we go. Look at Brandon Watson playing the games, eh? As I can't tell. They may be edging out and he's braking or slowing down and be like, no, I'm the leader. It's my restart. And he took one back there. And that's the veteran gamesmanship you're going to see with Brandon. Rookie in this division, but...
And it's not a brake check. A brake check is dirty. What you're doing is you're keeping the outside pole sitter honest, making sure that you dictate the pace. What a battle at the front of this field. Marc-Antoine Camerand on the inside of Trayton Lapsevich, right up on the back bumper of Brandon Watson. Alex Tagliani, our points leader, down on pit road in that number 18.
This is not good. They're going under the hood on the 18. And this is a big problem for the point leader. We talked about it in the pre-race when you were down there, Adam, talking about how we're going to have some disappointed drivers with things that tight. Someone's going to have to step out front, and someone is inevitably going to fall back, and it looks like it's going to be tags today.
You know, I'm remembering back to Autodrome Chaudière. DJ Kennington led some laps in that race in the number 17. And sorry to completely change topics on you, Clinton, but he said in his interview, I'm coming for you in Newfoundland. He had the lead and didn't win the race. And boy, oh boy, Brandon Watson in the number 9 up the racetrack.
Yeah, it just looked like it stepped out. I thought he had a tire issue there quickly, but...
A little bit of a bump and run.
Still maintain second.
Kevin Lacroix to the inside of Trayton Lapsevich. They get rubbing on each other down the front straightaway.
Lacroix's another one of the drivers we haven't talked much about, Adam, but always seems to rise to the top at the end of these events.
Rafael Lazard up the outside of J.P. Bergeron. We'll see who's coming and see who's going in that exchange.
Marc-Antoine Camerand has been fast at every single race this year. I think he's led every race, hasn't he?
If he hasn't, he's been darn close.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, he led CTMP for a while. I thought it was right in the mix.
Yeah, dude. Memory. When it comes to remembering things, I am not your man.
Well, race laps particularly. I can't tell you who won yesterday, never mind 3 weeks ago or a month ago.
Marc-Antoine Camerand out in front, opens a bit of a gap, about 5 car lengths over Brandon Watson. He's got about 3 car lengths over Kevin Lacroix. Trayton Lapsevich just behind them in the 4th spot. Lapsevich running a really aggressive line right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Further back, Brandon McFarland trying to get around the 0 at Glenn Stiers.
See if we can find out how many laps Tag is down on your scoring there. He is back out on the speedway now, half a lap behind the tail of the field and about, well, 3/4 of a straightaway in front of the leader, Marc-Antoine Camerand.
Yeah, unofficially he's 5 laps down.
Oh boy, that's a big hole to get out.
Laps go by quickly on a track like this.
Especially if we've only had a couple yellows so far in the first half of this race.
Glenn Stiers still holding back the 56 of Brandon McFarland, the 64 of Mark Dilley. Great battle for position. They're all running different lines around the racetrack. Dilley to the inside of McFarland off of turn number 4. He'll charge it down into the first turn, slide up the racetrack. McFarland does a great job of avoiding contact with Mark Dilley. Just kept going up the racetrack to give Dilley a bit more time. Not sure if he's going to fire back on him, but he will definitely want to take advantage if Dilley's able to make a move on Glenn Stiers.
That 0 was so loose. the last couple laps as Steyer's got back on the gas out of turn 4.
Dirt sprint car racer Glenn Steyer's used to driving a car a little bit sideways, but as we say, the engine hasn't been running, so he has not had a chance to size up that car as Mark Dilley gives him a bit of a rub from the back bumper. That's not going to tighten you up at all.
Yeah, we talked to Glenn in the past, and how you doing? How do you feel? He goes, I don't know what feels good or bad. I'm just happy to be here.
Steyer slings the back end off of turn number 4, Dilley to the inside. Mark Dilley showed a lot of patience there making that move on Glenn Steyer's. And TJ Renamato in the 2, he's having a good run as well out there.
Cars through turns 1 and 2, still on to the back straightaway. We look at the Gary Clute 59. Just behind him, DJ Kennington in the 17 car. LP Dumoulin also in the WeatherTech Dodge in the picture.
Brandon McFarland got up the track there in turn number 2, had to gather that car back up, so he might have used up some front tires here over this first 100 laps. In fact, it looks like there's a lot of brake dust. It helps that he's running white wheels. You can really see the buildup of brake dust on white wheels. But we use a lot of that here.
Brake will be coming up before long, Adam.
Yeah, the brake will be on or about lap 113. They'll bring the entire field down pit road. They'll kill all the engines, and then work will be allowed. The only time you're allowed to put fuel in these race cars during today's race is at the midway break. Whoa, Kennington into the back of Gary Clute. LP Dumoulin right on the back bumper of Kennington. That's a battle for the 4th spot as Trayton Lapsovich goes around Brandon Watson for 2nd.
Cameron still leading Lapsovich, Watson, Lacroix, and Clute.
Fantastic racing here at Eastbound International Speedway. Just a fun little racetrack. Renamato closing in on the 0 Glenn Steyer's, but he's not sure what to do with him. He's got some speed in that number 2 machine. 13 laps between now and the break, so I'm not sure how many cars Marc-Antoine Cameron will be able to put another lap down. He's about half a straightaway behind Sarah Thorne in that 28 at the moment.
Has that advantage up front, and he's really streaking away. And this is what we saw a lot from him, Adam. He pulled away from these guys in multiple events this year and was not saving tires, was not being conservative, going for it.
When your car is handling as well as Cameron's has, you really are conserving tires. It's when you have to overdrive the car to any degree, that's when you're burning tires. Cameron's car is just on a rail. We haven't seen it wear out hardly at all. So 105 laps complete. We're about 8 laps shy of the break, and a few cars just in front of Cameron that would really love to see a yellow flag before we get to the break. Lacroix gets around the 9 of Brandon Watson. We've got a new car in the 3rd place.
Watson looks strong early, fading a little bit here. I'm sure he's excited to get the break coming up shortly to make some adjustments on his car as well.
And now Sarah Thorne and Brian Cathcart right in front of that leader, Marc-Antoine Cameron, and we already saw it show Chaudière. Cameron is not shy to use the front bumper. In fact, it was Brian Cathcart that he gave a thump to at Chaudière and put him a lap down backwards.
We're hearing on the radio, Brandon Watson has no power steering at him in the 9 car, so that's a problem for Watson. Our spotter's telling us no power steering, and that could explain why he's fading back.
Wow. That's a lot of work. He's a young man, but that is a lot of work. Mark Dilley has his hands full with the 64 machine. Brandon McFarland right behind him trying to find a way around that 64. And really, it's not a big deal. We're going to get to this midway break. They're going to stay on the lead lap, but just for personal satisfaction, he'd love to make that pass. DJ Kennington trying to break into the top 5. He's all over the back end of Gary Clute as they race off at turn number 4. They're going to encounter the slower car of Alex Tagliani in the 18. Clute goes up the track. Kennington goes up the track.
Cars all around the speedway. And your leader still rolling very good. Marc-Antoine Cameron down the back straightaway, looking at the back end of the TJ Renamato number 2 car. Then 2 lap cars between himself and second place Trayton Lapsovich.
Kennington wants to make this pass before the break, before everyone gets fresh tires. He'd like to start on the inside of row 3 instead of the outside of row 3. That's what's at stake right now. Kennington gets a good run through 1 and 2, trying to hook that nose of the casserole edge to the inside of the 59. Contact down into turn number 3. He's doing everything he can as we reach the halfway point of this race.
Cameron with like 3/4 of a stretch lead. He's got a big one, and then back from him, it's the Lacroix machine trying to go around the Steyr 0.
And we can expect the yellow anytime. Here goes Kennington to the inside of Gary Clute. Clute was ahead at the stripe. And that might turn out to be important depending when the yellow flag is displayed for the midway break. There's still no yellow. It's the move over flag being displayed. So now Clute losing another spot. This time to LP Dumoulin, so his crew chief, John Fletcher, has to be wondering when this break is going to come. Now, Raphael Lessard has come around the 59 at Gary Clute. Now the yellow flag will be displayed. We have so much to unpack from that first half of this Pro Line 225, Clinton Jeffrey. What a show.
It's been fantastic. The track is really showing off well. The action's been great. Cars look fantastic out there, and we've had a lot of storylines to follow, even near the front of the point standings too. Tagliani struggling today, and you got 3 or 4 other drivers at the front trying to make a capitalization on that problem he has.
So I believe we're going to see TJ Renamato in that number 2 machine. And the way they do it, normally when you have a free pass, they put the free pass car to the front of the line, and when they give the one to go to restart the race, they let the free pass go. When you have a break race like this, they just send the free pass car around to join the tail of the field, so it's kind of a enhanced free pass.
Well, while we've got a quick break here on the stream, we'll take a break on the stream. Be still live here at the Speedway. Right back.
So Marc-Antoine Cameron, as we've seen so many times this season, I mean, he came to this series a number of years ago as a road racing expert. In fact, more specifically, he is an expert at the Grand Prix of Trois-Rivières, the winningest driver in the history of one of Canada's most historic races. But over the years, he has become such an excellent oval track racer. It's been fun to watch. So pit lane is open, folks. Every car going to come down pit road, and when the final car has reached their pit stall and all the engines are shut off, our race director, Sharpie, will say over the radio, work can commence. And the clock begins, and I believe it's a 5-minute clock. Keep an eye on this number 9 team. They're going to change tires. Everyone's going to put in fuel. Everyone's going to change tires. This 9 team needs to try to fix the power steering on this car in 5 minutes.
Could be a few things, Adam, right? Could be a belt. Could be a faulty pump. Could be a leak. What else am I missing?
I think that's about the 3 things it could be.
Pump could still be stuck down on George Street from last
line.
night.
Yeah, or a line. But what needs to happen, fuel goes in first. So you can see all the way down the line, all those fuel cans hoisted up in the air. And that's the better part of 200 pounds in those fuel cans. So work begins. They rush out here. Full fire suits, full helmets.
It is a thing of beauty. Synchronized fueling here.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch.
As you mentioned, Adam, all these teams, great crews, and we get some up-close action there. And there goes the hood on the 9 of the Watson car, so they're done fueling. What can they do to get this one? He's the one car with the hood up there.
And the reason they've done this, folks, it used to be a live pit road. You come in, you make pit stops, and the people who do it the fastest will gain positions. it was costing the teams an enormous amount of money to fly out a pit crew big enough to do a live pit stop. Now you can come out with a smaller group of people with less expensive equipment. You can see, unlike the cup races you'll watch on a Sunday, 2 pumps and that car is up in the air. With these cars, you'll see them pump 10 times. Well, thousands of dollars in savings not having to buy some of the higher dollar pit equipment.
Yeah, good point. Another thing we're seeing, the Viagra car, Tagliani going up on jack stands at him.
Yeah, they got it up. Not sure what
I didn't even want to say nothing. I was just going to let that one float out for a couple
I don't
seconds.
know what you're talking about. It's up on jack stands, and they're going to work underneath the 18 machine.
We also see the McFarlane car doing some work over there, but looks like just routine maintenance. And little Sard car putting some adjustments in that one as well.
Nobody winging it over there, Clinton. They know what they're doing.
You are.
Keep going. Set me up.
Are you overtired?
A little bit.
How about the O'Neill 84? What do you got about Larry?
Well, duly noted on the Dooley Trucking number 84. We should talk about what a good job that team is doing on so little sleep.
I'm impressed.
I do
that
what
was
I can. I wish we could have fun in this job.
I
You know what
know.
I'm
It's
saying?
all seriousness. We never get to smile or laugh.
Nothing but business.
Race fans, are you having a good time out there? Let's hear you make some noise if you're awake with us on a gorgeous Sunday. It is Sunday, right?
It is Sunday.
We appreciate you. All the fans, the hospitality, everybody around here has just treated us great, and we cannot say it enough how amazing it's been to be here. New markets, Adam. You know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, but we got a full house.
Yeah, it's fantastic crowd. This is probably the best rain day crowd I have ever seen.
Mike, come on over here and talk to Adam for a minute about your Speedway.
Be on your best behavior, please, Mike.
Well, we'll keep it rated G.
Oh, all right. You do what you do. Oh, you want me to ask a question?
I
Is
don't
this the
know
part
what's
where I
going
ask
on. What's going on? I got thrown in here, you know. We've got cold beer.
You've announced before, I think, a time or two.
yeah,
Microphones at this end.
Well, you know, I'll give you a little story about announcing here at Eastbound. So in 2014, when we opened this place, I was part of the promotion direction and stuff like that. So I've always been a director of monster trucks. I've always told the announcers what's coming up, what are we going to do next. And so when we made a call for an announcer here at the track, the only person that put a resume in was a choir boy from the Basilica Catholic Church. So when I interviewed him, I asked him if he knew anything about racing, and he said no. And he said he had a beautiful voice, so it didn't work out for him being the announcer here. So we've had a great career here over the last 8 years. A lot of iRacing, but we've been following your G-Force and everything you guys have been doing. It's awesome what you guys have brought to the table here this afternoon. But it's a beautiful day here in Avondale. I got to say, Patty Squires, every one of the staff here are smiling from ear to ear. It's just been awesome to see the speed on this track and them running into turn one here is just absolutely incredible. I can see it on the faces. I took a quick break, went out to the fans, and everybody here in the facility is just jacked up right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And do people realize what a good thing you have down in the Maritimes? Like yourself, Tim, Terry, like there is a group of people that do such a great job promoting the sport and building the hype. And it really is, Monster Truck says it all. I mean, that is a hype machine.
Yeah.
And you guys have that down here. You've got a great thing going.
Yeah, Tim spent some time here at Eastbound. He doesn't get here all the time because he's pretty busy chasing tracks. I mean, I think he definitely has the world record for an announcer for chasing the tracks in a short time span. But you know what? We like to have fun here, and the fans here are absolutely incredible. And to see them all out here this afternoon on a rain date, it's a packed house here this afternoon, and we do really want to thank everyone here in the stands for having patience yesterday. You know, there's a lot of nuts and bolts, as you know, with TSN and NASCAR that they had to work out, and we really wanted to try to get it in, but Mother Nature was not on our hands. But obviously someone was speaking today as we have a beautiful day here in Avondale, and just want to thank ProLine as well as the Come Home team. They were out yesterday. We've had an incredible weekend, started on Friday with our Advanced Auto Parts Series. Myself and Scott Evans, we were jacked up, man. We had the place hopping. You weren't here, but we had everybody in the stands out here bushwhacking. We had the WWE bushwhackers on, and
What?
Well, yeah, we got the Bushwhackers. You want to see Scott Evans?
The music?
Yeah,
you brought the Bushwhackers.
You
out.
want to see Scott Evans jack up the Bushwhacker song?
I do so.
Well, Scott, if you want a 75-cent race, you got to get out there. Oh my God!
Wow.
Here we go. So
You bring pro wrestling into the equation.
of
You
course,
touched my heart.
Yes. Well, we've got Stone Cold. We got everything here, but we got our good friend Scotty. He's going to get 75 cents. I don't have a microphone with. There we go. There's the microphone. But this halftime's been brought to you by Coors Light. We got a beautiful beer garden down there, ice cold beer here. But it's a beautiful day here in Avondale, man. I can tell you, I'm so excited. I'm kind of lost for words, Adam.
That's awesome. That's how it should be. I mean, all the planning that goes into these events, and I've been around racing a long, long time, and we have long winters here in Canada. And that is when the planning goes in. That's when you sit in rooms and talk about how great something's going to be, and in the back of your mind thinking, I hope this is as great as I think it's going to be. This is. You know, when it comes to fruition, it just feels fantastic, and it's the hard work that people put into it. Let's see what you got here.
Well, you know, we started on this trying to get this race here for 8 years, but we thought we had it in the fall. But so what we put together since March, I got to give a shout out to Alan Boyden. I got to give a shout out to Sherry and the full team of NASCAR. This and all the teams here. I mean, we put this together in March, and it's absolutely incredible. Let's see if we can get our boy out there to get everybody in the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eastbound International Speedway. Are you guys having a good time here today? I can't hear you. Are you having a good time? A good Newfoundland time here today?
Well, your paycheck's on the line, Scotty.
I get a 50-cent raise, Mike, and that's what it's all
Get
about.
away from that speaker, and you're going to lose 25 cents.
I'm gone. All right, we all know what to do. Who likes the Bushwhackers? Let's get down. Let's get crazy. Come on, get the hands. Hey, over here. Hands in the air. Come on, it's Eastbound International Speedway. We got Pinty's here in the house. We got TSN in the house. Get those hands up.
75-cent raise on the line for Scott Evans. Can he get everybody up?
Over here, let's see some bushwhacking. I know you can do it. Hands in the air. All right. Who wants a Team 42 hat? Who wants a Team 42 hat?
A cheap 42 hat?
No, Mikey, a Team 42.
So we have got the crowd getting wound up here.
Get
They're all
up.
bushwhacking out there.
I'm impressed you have the Bushwhackers theme, but looking over, I see you have a lot.
We have all of
themes.
them. We have Axe and Smash.
Demolition.
We have, now, he's been practicing this one. Scotty, what do you got?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful sunny day here at Eastbound International Speedway. That's what it's about. Who wants a hat?
Kind of sounds like Hulk Hogan.
Hulkamania is running wild.
It's running wild in Newfoundland.
It's too bad we didn't have more free stuff for you.
How many packs
Come on
of
down,
cigarettes do
little guy.
you have to smoke a day to get that voice? Like that's
I've known him
beautiful.
since junior high, so
That is a beautifully cured voice.
what a day here in Avondale, folks. What
Thanks,
a
guys.
beautiful day. Adam, man, oh man, I got to say, it's grin from ear to ear here, man. It's incredible. We've had some jam-packed shows here, from concerts to monster trucks, which is actually coming up August 12th. We're going to be on the road this year, the Eastbound team. We're heading to Halifax. We're at Scotia Speed World this year. We're also going to be at Speedway 660 in Fredericton. So we're taking this show on the road. We're going to kick things off in Halifax August 5th to 7th, and then we're coming all the way here with the world champion Jimmy Cretin, Bounty Hunter, and the full team of the Napa Auto Parts World Series of Monster Trucks. If you guys don't have your tickets, premium is sold out for Saturday and Sunday, but you can grab them for Friday. Tickets are selling very fast, and you want to get it. Saturday is actually sold out in Halifax, so get on those tickets ASAP.
Let's take a quick break before we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing in the Pro Line 225.
Welcome back here to Eastbound International Speedway from Avondale, Newfoundland and Labrador. Gorgeous facility we've been at here for the weekend. We just got a glimpse of the fans having a good time, Adam. It's great to see everybody enjoying themselves. What a great atmosphere we've got here today.
There's nothing better.
And I love the sound system. Man, Mike is a rocker, and he brought in the boom this weekend because it is pounding out there. Nothing like waking up to a bit of Van Halen at 8 a.m. this morning, cranked up Panama. And I go singing again on the air.
Singing again,
Yeah.
there you go.
So I think every race I got at least one chime out.
You know, the funny thing is, we make a living. We get paid to go
We
and
do?
announce live streams
Wait a
when
minute.
really you have to be here.
You
Like
do.
our job is to convince you to not listen to us online or watch us online or see us on TV. It's to get out to the racetrack, because nothing compares to a day at the races. Yeah, Brandon McFarland needed to be push-started out of the pits, and then it looked like that car stalled at the exit of pit road.
No, but you're right, Adam, about the stream, you know. It's a great service when you can't make it to the track, but the idea is that's why it's supposed to be there if you can't make it, because you should be here. And the truck over here looks at us and says, is it okay to play this? And I'm like, I think it is, because we're showing the great atmosphere here. We're showing the atmosphere and why you need to come to this race.
For sure.
And, you know, it's just been so much fun this weekend.
Well, in fairness, we go coast to coast. So from here, we go to Toronto for the Indy. After that, we're in Edmonton, Saskatoon, back to Ontario, back to Quebec. Nobody is expected to follow the series across the country. So get to the events you can get to, and the ones you can't, catch them online, watch them on TSN in high definition. I don't think we need to say in high definition anymore, do we?
I think everything is.
So Glenn Steyer's in that zero car.
Yeah, the crew strutting down there to see if they can push him off. Now, they must have called for a push truck because they tried to push it off, and they did not get it.
And some things make me shake my head. Unless they're not counting laps yet. Because if I'm...
So we'll see what happens with the Steyer's machine here. Looks like they're going to push it back.
Well, they would have to push it back to be able to push it forward to give it a bump start. So the officials go to the car. Get away from that car. Go over to the car. Get away from that car.
McFarland's car is still not firing in that Jim Bray Wing-It machine.
It looks like it's trying to take fire there.
Not enough, though. Needs some quick fire starter in that thing.
Heartbreak for McFarland in the 56. As I say, I want to look to see if these laps count. Because I don't know if they start counting until they go back to green, but I could be talking out the wrong end.
Well, it did not
No.
increase that time.
Nope, they're not counting laps, thank goodness. So the 56 of McFarland coming down. And that's the deal with the midway break. And I always forget the technicalities of it. Glenn Steyer's has to be losing his noodle down there in the zero car.
Well, they've just cleared the McFarland car. Now they'll go down and give the Steyer's machine a push. As McFarland's 56 car just right outside the pit stall there, crew going to push it in a little bit further so they can begin work on the winging it.
Hard to say what might be
56.
the issue in that is that they're pushing it ahead. And now a crew member climbing right in. I'm a little bit jealous.
So that's where the ignition box is, right? So you would think probably something there.
It could be a gas pedal problem. Like there's so many things could go wrong from a shifter to a geez darn near anything. But that crew member jumped right in there. And they'll do what they can. I can't tell from here what area of the car they're working on. Because the ignition, the MSD box, I believe, is up on the dash. So you would see them in that part of the car. It almost looks like they're down in the middle of the cockpit where the shifter would be.
Zero car did get pushed off, resumed position on the speedway. 56 is the only car we're waiting for at this point.
Crew member just ran up towards the pit box, towards the hauler.
One to go.
What did they come back with? I hope it's duct tape and bungee cords. Nothing fixes a race car like duct tape and bungee cords.
Hey, Scarf, with the lights out, when they come off turn 4, they'll be back to it. It'll be Marc-Antoine Cameron and Trayton Lapsevich. Cameron will be the command car in the 96.
Crew member climbing out the right side window of that 56 machine. What a shame for Brandon McFarland, that winging it machine. They've still got a chance if they can get that car fired.
Yeah, if they can avoid losing multiple laps. Oh, he's out of the car, Adam.
Is that the driver that climbed out or another crew member?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Green flag back out, Cameron on the inside, Trayton Lapsevich up high. They are on fresh General tires, so these cars are going to be a handful for a little while, but DJ Kennington working the high side in the Castrol Edge, number 17. Look at him go, race fans.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be too much of a detriment for the veteran as he worked his way back around the outside of a lot of cars, and if anybody knows what's up on the top, it's DJ, because he spent most of his afternoon there today.
Spent a lot of time up there making hay. He has closed in on this top two. Trayton Lapsevich running in second. Marc-Antoine Cameron out front. We haven't got a report on the 9 to Brandon Watson, whether they fixed the power steering or whether he's just out there muscling that machine, but the way he's moving in that car. Whoa, oh, hard contact. LP Dumoulin up into the water barrels.
There's a lot of water across that speedway.
Wow. He has ripped that car to pieces. The right rear gone from that 47 machine. Bits and pieces scattered on the racetrack. I don't know if that's water from the water barrels leaking out or if that's gasoline.
That might be some fuel out the back of his car there, Adam.
Might not be the best place to stop the ATV. UTV.
Yeah, look at this. It runs right under
Oh,
it. Because he's a long way from those barrels.
Yeah, true that.
You know, I talked to LP yesterday, Adam, and he said he loved this place. The only thing that concerned him was these walls. Let's watch it here.
Oh,
just got loose up on the top by the looks of it and tagged the barrel.
I don't know that I've ever seen that much of a right rear suspension component come out of one of these race cars. LP Dumoulin, that is not a happy LP Dumoulin walking away from the scene. He's going to collect some of the parts of that 47 machine. And like you say, Clinton, he had concerns. Now, what he had concerns with is not what happened just
Correct.
here. Let's have another look. Look at the very left side of your screen.
It just looked like he got loose up on the top, maybe right rear going down already and then clipped it, but no, because it's still...
No, it had come off the bead there. If a right rear went down, you would normally spin out and hit the wall with the back end of the car.
That was not the stride of a happy champion we just saw there.
No.
And LP, what a champion he is, Adam. Another look at it for us up here in the booth and those watching at home. Just backed it into those barrels and just caught the barrels at the worst possible angle.
And thank goodness for him to climb out of the race car under his own power and walk away, I think that's the tire off.
Well, also good thing that, the tire stayed in the fence. That could have been very, very problematic over there in turn 4.
That took my breath away watching that.
Every time I see it still, even on replay, it takes my breath away. Make sure all you fans here watching this one on TSN when it comes around, you're going to want to see this one for sure. But yeah, our TSN camera in turn 3 definitely got a good look at that, I would think.
New pair of shorts to our camera operator in turn 3, please.
And, let's talk about LP and the champion he is, Adam. Fantastic ambassador for the sport. Bilingual, which is huge here in Canada. We got to see him get his award in Bristol, Tennessee at the Bristol Dirt Race. And he's so eloquent,
He's a great role model.
Yeah, like in shape, good-looking dude, works hard, great role model for the kids. You know what I mean? All the good things you want from your champion of your sport, just the perfect ambassador.
You said it all. I couldn't agree more.
Wait, and like they said, he's in shape?
No, I was gonna add, and he married very well. His wife is lovely and a dental surgeon. I mean, it is like the.
I thought I was stepping over the line.
Image
you
of
just push
success.
it right over the backside. The image of success. Yeah, I would like to know what got him loose. Like we just catch.
No, he clipped
He's already in trouble by the time the camera catches that situation. Good catch by our camera one, Rob, up on the roof there.
The wall, the safety fence doing what it's supposed to do. There you go. For our VIP guests in turn 3 and 4, you're welcome. Little excitement up your way. They'll collect these water barrels.
So, what's it going to take to clean up that spill? Is that going to be a problematic spot coming right through 3 and 4?
No, little bit of water. With the amount of heat that's on that racetrack right now, you run these cars over it for 2-3 laps. Water's not an issue. It's when you get oil across the track.
We did see it dry quickly. This track dries very quickly in the sun compared to some of the other places we've been.
Look at the trees. Look at the direction of the. There's a bit of a breeze in Newfoundland, a predominant wind. No, I know that's what I mean. They're not leaning over from the wind now. They're leaning over from the wind perpetually.
They just grow that way.
Yep. So 3 and 4 dries in a heartbeat. 1 and 2 a little bit more of a challenge, but great work by the track staff, and I got to tell you, by the concession crew.
Yeah, they're working hard.
I have never seen such a busy concession area. I've got to say, it had to be a record sale for the merchandise trailer because everybody was looking for dry clothes yesterday. In fact, the race teams, it was a parade of pit crew members walking over to buy T-shirts and hoodies. And
yeah, we saw them all last night. A lot of crews walking by, and I was saying, hey, I got to get one of those shirts, and it's the Come Home 2022 sweaters.
Yeah. Tell us about Come Home 2022. Clinton, can we...
Yeah, that works.
That works. Tell us about Come Home 2022.
That's a big year, after COVID for 2 years, they haven't done one in like probably 100 years. I believe the last one was in the there was one in the 60s, one in the 1910, I think. So it's a big deal. A lot of towns have their come home year for like Placentia or Gander. So it's a thing around here about Newfoundlanders from away coming home. As you know, there's 500,000 people here, and there's 500,000 Newfoundlanders in Alberta. So we have just as many Newfoundlanders all over the world. Even myself, when I was traveling all over the world, I was in China actually, and I ran into a guy in Shanghai, and he actually went to a high school just down the road from me. So we're all over the place. It's incredible to see everybody come home. The boat's been jam-packed. The flights are full. It's going to be a great summer. Obviously it's the start of the summer on June 21st, and what a way to kick things off with you guys here this afternoon.
Mike, talk about how cool it is that the government got involved. Normally this sport just floats along. We have a lot of corporate involvement, but for the government to get behind the sport, your facility, and really put this event together is a major deal for not just you, but NASCAR and the sport in general.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's outside the box thinking by the government. They're doing some advertising with Cup Racing now. That whole package is a 3-year deal, as you know. We've done work with the Tim Hortons Briar here. Was the best Briar, the most beer in Canada ever sold at a Briar was in Newfoundland. We've had some great Juno awards, and what great way to open up the box. TSN, NASCAR. This is a little bit different than the Newfoundland Tourism has done in the past, and it's a great fan. Obviously, everybody knows NASCAR fans are the most loyal fans in the world, and we're seeing it here this afternoon. I was down in the RV park. A guy came all the way from Ontario with his camper, and he doesn't miss a race. So it's great to see all the fans from away actually here. So we have a tracking system with our ticketing, and we have quite a ton of people from abroad, Canada here, from BC, Alberta. We got some fans here from Saskatoon. We got some fans even from Labrador all the way up to the mainland there. So great to see everybody together, but this is great for year number 1. We started in March, short window. Imagine we got a whole year to plan next year.
I work for Clinton on Friday nights at a dirt track in Ontario. Clinton,
an awesome dirt track.
Well, you don't work for me. You work for Glenn Stiers. I just happen to be the supervisor. But
I'm going to need a night off next year. I try not to take any nights off. In fact, Clinton flew down here on no sleep Saturday morning. I flew down with my wife Angie on Thursday because we wanted to take in some of the scene. It's been a wish for her to come to Newfoundland for a long time. But I thought, do it once. Next year, I'll travel with Clinton. We'll do the no sleeping. No, I'm taking the Friday night off again. I want to come down early, and I want to take in the local scenery.
We might be able to make that work because Glenn does race in the series, and we could just maybe get him to shut down for the week, and we can all come down. But Mike, in all seriousness, with a lot of things in life, that are new, people take a wait-and-see attitude. So I'm sure a good portion of fans here took a wait-and-see attitude, how this race was going to turn out, what was the track going to look like, how are people going to be treated. I think you're going to be even booming in the years to come, even more by people who are seeing this, witnessing it, experience it, and going home to their friends. Like all of our crew, we're going to go home and sing the praises of this. Adam and I, we have a talk show every Tuesday. We'll be on there talking about the great time we had here, and I think you're going to even see even more people here in the years to come.
Well, next year, one gentleman in particular that you know, who has a family connection to Newfoundland, J.R. Fitzpatrick, tried very hard to be here this year. His family actually is from Belle Isle, Newfoundland. He has a house only 20 minutes from here. He actually has a house, him and his dad and family. So hopefully we see JR in the house. He's actually been here, part of our Advanced Auto Parts series. And what awesome way to welcome home JR back to Newfoundland next year. So unfortunately it didn't happen this year, but I have a funny feeling after this one, he'll be here.
Of all the drivers that have been with this series and have moved on to different things, JR is the one I miss. And we get to see him all the time. I live in the same town as JR. Great young man, a great ambassador for the sport, and so much fun.
He's having a great season. He had a terrible season last year. He's on fire this year.
Yeah, hopefully he runs for a full season at Pinty's. I mean, his career's been absolutely incredible. I know he runs in the APC and whatnot. So he's actually spread his wings to the East Coast. He's been to the IWK and Antigonish, and he's been down here in the East. We supplied him a car. He's actually considering leaving a car because we're starting a Pro Late model series here. We're going to have a couple of those this year, and he's actually said if that happens, he'll actually ship one down here and put it in the stable here in Brigus, Newfoundland.
Well, I think they have room on their property. I think they could fit a race
They got a beautiful house in Brigus.
Yeah, I've heard that. I had heard someone real famous tried to buy that place from JR's dad, John, when they were filming a movie down here a long time ago.
I don't know that story, but
Russell Crowe.
Oh, Russell spends a lot of time here. Also, Aquaman spends a lot of time. He's probably in the crowd right now. A lot of filming going on here in Newfoundland, Labrador. Last year we had the full crew of the Disney Peter Pan crew here taking in one of our NASCAR weekly series, so it was cool to have them involved. But the film industry here in Newfoundland, Labrador is massive right now and continues to exponentially grow. And Russell Crowe calls this place his second home. Also the Aquaman as well, and it's funny, we do country music, and Toby Keith actually spends a lot of time here, and even up in Labrador, some of the best fishing and hunting in the world. George Bush has been here several times. So many different people out there traveling to Newfoundland, Labrador for that side of our tourism. So this province offers an immense amount of opportunities for everybody. It's not just about George Street or the scenery, or it's just if you travel, you almost need to spend 2 weeks here, because you guys are here in the Avalon, you've seen the oldest city in North America, but when you go across, like when you go to Gander, where where 911 happened, and that airport was built for the crossroads of the world where everybody refueled, man, you can spend a couple of days there and you'll love it. You'll actually see my name on my family's name on the airport road, James Boulevard. Lots of history out there. And then if you go to the West Coast, it's absolutely incredible. So all four corners of this province, from the Vikings to right throughout, it's a lot of stuff to take in. You can't do it in 3 days.
Well, if you can get Aquaman, Jason Momoa here to be your Grand Marshal next year, you would need a lot more seats.
He loves the pubs.
No kidding.
Yeah, he spends
well,
a
maybe
lot
he
of
could
time.
be our escort next time, Adam, and kind of chaperone us around, making sure we don't get in no trouble. And if we do, well, he'll just handle it for us.
I don't know that I want to avoid the trouble, Clint.
We had a great time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Great fans here today, enjoying it. And Mike, what's next on the card around here for you guys?
We're going to go back to the Strip. We're going to on the IHRA next weekend for Canada Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be a real busy weekend for us. Probably we're going to be doing the House of Speed Teams event, which is where we, generally drag race is an individual sport, but once a year we pile them up in teams of 10 and they go battle with each other. We'll get about 8 teams of 10 and then basically run them down like our IHRA series down in Memphis. And they pile them down there and they collect points, and it's amazing to see the veterans that have been around since the 70s and 80s working with the rookies, because we have a huge movement drag racing is starting to die elsewhere in the world. You know, a lot of young people not getting in the cars, but here in Newfoundland, there's been a wave of people buying old Mustangs and Camaros, and we're seeing this huge generation now of like young 20-year-olds going out and buying a Fox body Mustang, putting a turbo into it. So it's exciting to see that, and next weekend is a huge one for us because we see our veteran drivers that have been around for decades get to work with some of these young guys on a team momentum. So one-of-a-kind event is the House of Speed team event, so that will be next weekend.
So, Mike, when you say a team event, they're not just like, if we did that on oval track racing, the teams would kind of stick to themselves, right? And they would just add up the points amongst them. So you're actually seeing the veterans interact with these drivers and really be a team.
Well, helping them with their dial-ins and really sizing up everything as they go through the rounds, because it's random selection down there. You just can't take out one of your teams. So it's like our gamblers. We throw them all down there, and we have A, B, C, D, E, E, F. And then basically they go down there, and it could be an A versus an F, an A versus a C. It's pretty crazy to watch. And, you know, after a couple of rounds, we knock a team out, then we knock another team out, and then we get down to those two teams. And it's just so awesome because we get to do some commentary with our team leaders, and it's just like some grudge match in there when we get down to those final rounds. So you're not going to want to miss that next week. And it's a loaded week. Everything is on eastboundpark.com. We go back and forth between drag racing and our NASCAR weekly series. And then, of course, special events like here today and our Napa Auto Parts World Series of Monster Trucks in August. So it's jam-packed. Maybe in October, we may even throw in a Redneck Festival. We've been talking about some school bus racing, some stuff that you guys like up in Ontario.
That's huge.
Some demolition derby, some tough truck action. Maybe stack a couple cars, give the guy on the top the steering and the bottom with the brakes and the accelerator. So
Double decker.
I'm just looking to see how many openings you have in the wall, some of the fun stuff you can do, you know, train races, school bus races. Brighton Speedway does it better than anybody I know of in Ontario, and it is a tiny little quarter-mile racetrack, and these buses get out there. It's insane.
Well, we haven't tested them yet. We haven't seen what they would act like on the 18-degree banks, but I got a feeling they're going to be leaning on each other coming out of 4.
Mike, what can you tell us about the delays here? We're on a stream. We're watching the crew work turn 3. They've got all of the walls, the barrels back in place, just trying to dry up the water that came out of those barrels. What are we looking at here time-wise?
I think they're going to be clicking that off pretty quick. Gerard Ronayne and Scott Tillier of our safety crew are out there doing a fab job working with the NASCAR officials. But that was a large hit from LP coming up into turn 3, man. Like, the LP got a full view of that one, but kind of, I don't know if we ever got a shot of it, what actually happened there, but he kind of drifted up there by himself.
That's it. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Welcome back to Eastbound International Speedway as we are here at the gorgeous Avondale, Newfoundland and Labrador.
I hear it was an immersive experience up in turn number 3 with the VIP tent. Yeah. And we are praising the track staff for the fresh water they use in the barrels.
Yeah, how great are these seats? Whoosh.
It's like being at Marineland.
Marineland. Oh. It's a bad word these days.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love those VIP spots down there. What a great view they have of that action, I'm sure. And they probably needed to change their shorts before LP came flying at them.
I enjoy watching a race from the end of a racetrack, but really, I enjoy watching a race from darn near anywhere.
We'll take one more look at the LP in case you're just joining us here on the stream. And this is why we are under caution here as they clean up the track. Look to the far left of the screen here. You see the 47 already out of shape, and then bam, hits those water barrels, tears the right rear suspension and tire off, among other things.
So our next oval races are the West Coast Swing, Edmonton, Saskatoon. Our next event is on the streets of Toronto. So they do have some time to work on that race car. That could be a destroyed race car, Clint.
Yes. Let's talk about Toronto quickly, Adam. I saw a post this week that the race is on Friday, and if you bring a donation to Make-A-Wish, I believe it is, you can get free admission to the Toronto race.
Yeah, it's usually free on Fridays, and it always has a sponsor. So I think the donation is optional. It's encouraged, but it's a big deal. I mean, it puts a lot of eyeballs on the sport, and that's what we want. And it's the Friday at Indy. I almost think the Friday is a better day at the Toronto Indy than Saturday.
You know, I went with my brother Mike, who is a sprint car racer, and we're walking around the Indy, and I'm thinking, why would anybody want to come to this race? And then the Indy cars go by, and you're like, we both were shocked. And we're like, okay, we get it instantly. It was unbelievable to see these cars race through the streets of Toronto, and all you've got to do is go back and look at, just search online for any of the NASCAR Pinty stuff at the Toronto Indy. The racing's always wild. It's tight. It's like they're driving down a tunnel in every straightaway. It's just great, tight racing action.
Our series has some of the most elite racers of any of the NASCAR Touring Series.
Yeah.
You take an Andrew Ranger, and Alex Tagliani, and LP Dumoulin, and DJ Kennington. I mean, these are veteran, experienced, talented racers.
Who've come into this. You know, DJ built his career around this, but, you know, you look at the other drivers who've come in at him from other disciplines. You know, LP was a championship road course racer. You've got so many other stories out there of guys who came from other places and have now found a home here in the NASCAR Pinty Series.
When we really do, it shows when we go to a technical track like the Toronto Indy. And I compare it to, say, possibly an unfair comparison to the NASCAR Truck Series, where you've got a lot of young up-and-comers, you've got a lot of people without a ton of experience, and they go to these tracks and it's a bit more challenging. Ours are elite-level racers. They're already established. They already know what to do, and it shows. It shows with the product on the racetrack.
Looks like we're just about wrapping up in turn 3 from the situation over there with LP Dumoulin.
Yeah, the final water barrel, I believe that's the final water barrel that's been put into place.
Forklift up out of the way, and it should be ready to go shortly.
Now, the challenge here, we know there might be 1 or 2 cars that will not fire. The Zero at Glenn Steyer's needed a push, so we see the push vehicle getting into place behind the field. That tells me we are likely about to see the yellow flag displayed by flagman Mike Charret. We got screeched in. Well, when I say we, I mean my wife Angie and I at 5 o'clock on Friday night. Then at 7 o'clock down at Christian's Pub.
Well, you got screeched in twice?
No. There was about 15 NASCAR officials that got screeched in that night. So there was a lot of people up and down George Street.
You stood me up last night. You were supposed to take me to get screeched in.
I don't even want to hear about it. You whined, Clint. You whined. I mean, I've got 2 kids, and I never heard the type of whining from my boys that I heard from you about the prospect of having to make a reservation. And
no, well, I don't want to get in trouble here with the locals, but I thought it was just, here, man, have a shot. I didn't realize you had to make reservations and do it all official and get certificates and stuff.
I tried to tell you it is a cultural enlightening that burns your throat.
Yeah, well, I've had lots of cultural enlightenings over my days. And it did involve a reservation. Great time, though. I mean, everybody who did it said it was fantastic. And, you know, I can't wait to see the trophy today.
Yes, we hear all about it. We hear it's something special. How are we going to do Victory Lane? Something we haven't talked about.
No, this is your circus.
We'll make it happen. Yeah.
Truck's pointing at the mic.
I might have to head down there with that microphone when the time comes, but we'll make it happen.
You just want to get up close to the trophy.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Codfish on the trophy. Love it. We were trying to figure out, you said it's a codfish, Mike. We were thinking you just hand them a live codfish. I mean, they do it at New Hampshire with the lobster. We thought that's what we were getting into.
Well, you know, we don't want to raise the bar too high in year number one, but kind of wanted to feel out what we can and can't do in year one, but we'll work on that next year.
It's your circus. Do what you want.
That's what I'm talking.
Got the tunes cranked. That works.
Well, how many Newfoundlanders are in the house?
Only 3?
I think there's more than 3.
Yellow flag being displayed. We're going to fire these cars up and let's see how many of them roll. And what happens is these cars get so hot, the starters have a tough time turning over the engine. You saw a little bit of black smoke out of Kevin Lacroix as his car fired. Wallace Stacy in the 66. We wait for his car to come to life. This could be a problem. We're under. So the push truck is down there. They're going to pick up probably the 0 of Glenn Stiers as Brian Cathcart has the 71 going. He'll split the middle between Stiers and Tagliani. Sarah Thorne in the 28 keeps that car rolling, getting valuable experience with each passing lap. And I think the learning experience of the first half of this race was you got to keep that right front. You got to keep the brakes under you. You got to keep the right front from overheating, and it'll reward you later on. So the Bush vehicle gets Glenn Stiers about 10 feet down the track. That's enough for you. Got to go do 10 feet for Alex Tagliani, and then get that 18 machine fired up. Tag gets fired up, they'll go back to Glenn Stiers, and then we'll need to get Wallace Stacy from Kanawaki, Quebec, in that 66 lit up.
104 laps to go when we go back to green flag action. And we'll actually start taking them off here once we go into yellow. Last car to fire will be that Wallace Stacy, number 66. All cars rolling and firing, and we're ready to go. Problem with the 18 again there. It stopped. I don't know, it gets rolling.
I think Stiers might have stalled as well. You see that car lurch the way it did. I'm going to open up my timing and scoring, I believe. Glenn Stiers right now running in the 14th spot.
Not a bad run for him today. So far, he's been with the lead pack most of the day. Also a newcomer to the sport after many years as a dirt sprint car champion. Just recently inducted into the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame and having fun out here on the NASCAR Pinty Series. Excited to bring them back to the dirt at his track this summer with us. It's going to be super cool to get them on the dirt.
Looks like Brandon McFarland might be getting back into the game here in this number 56. I'm not sure what the official is signaling. Unless they were just doing the bushwhacker. It was similar but different. And we'll look down to see Brandon McFarland has completed 100 and... No, he hasn't. 117 laps. The leaders have completed 122 laps now, 123. So Glenn Stiers, the free pass car, so he'll be back on the lead lap. And a solid day, as you mentioned, for Glenn Stiers. It's been a struggle in his rookie campaign here, but the struggle has not been behind the wheel. The struggle's been under the hood of that race car, some engine gremlins.
You know, him and I talked a bit this weekend about the NASCAR Pinty Series coming to Ohsweken Tuesday, August 16th, for the first time ever on dirt. These cars, we're expecting a huge field of cars. A lot of cars been rented for that race. And we've learned a lot here from Mike and the staff about, just putting on a good show and keeping the crowd into it. And I'm definitely taking some notes back to make sure I think you're going to see us change some of the sprint car pits at Oshwegan, and that whole compound of what we call $1 Million Row there is just going to be NASCAR compound in the front with inspection and all that. We're planning a good concert and a whole bunch of stuff there. So excited to get everybody out to our race, and I can't wait to see these cars on the dirt. They're just going so cool out there.
Yeah, an exciting year for first-time events, that's for sure. 1 to go. Let's set these drivers loose. Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96 is your race leader. Running second is Trayton Lapsevich in the 20. There goes Brandon McFarland in the wing, and at Miller Lite, number 56. Get some valuable seat time out there, but let's see. DJ Kennington in the Castrol Edge, number 17, has been on fire. After cutting a right front tire early in this race, it has been an amazing comeback for the driver of the number 17. We're back under green at Eastbound International Speedway.
Good clean start there for Marc-Antoine Cameron with Trayton Lapsevich up on the outside. Here comes Lacroix rolling up on the top on the outside of the Kennington 17.
Side by side off of turn number 4, Kennington hugging the bottom, Lacroix up top. Kennington will be able to clear that 74 as they race down into turn number 1. Lapsevich looking to the inside of our race leader, Cameron.
Working off the 3 and 4 they come. Still Cameron with the lead. Lapsevich fades back a half car length now, and he'll be 2 car lengths ahead of Kennington as they get back to turn number 1.
Top 3 have opened up just a hair over Kevin Lacroix on the 74. Gary Clute in the 59 is right behind him. Then Raphael Lassard, who started quite a bit deeper in the field with that number 8. He's been creeping forward throughout this race.
Yeah, Lassard slowly inching his way into the picture. Looking on the back bumper of the 59 of Clute that time. Couldn't make it work. He'll back off a little bit and try to reset once more.
Brandon Watson got around Larry Jackson in the 84. Now Mark Dilley trying to do the same as Jackson fights back from the outside. Watson to the inside of Bergeron off of turn 2.
Kennington running in position number 3. Zero Stiers down on pit road. Car not running good for him. We'll find out what's wrong with that car.
I think he's hit the wall.
Oh, yeah. Flat. Oh, boy, did he ever. Both sides pancaked. Well, both tires on the right side pancaked anyways. And that may be all she wrote for Stiers. We'll see if they go to work on that or not.
Tough end of the day for Glenn Stiers, who was having his best race of the season out there, staying on the lead lap. He did go a lap down, got the free pass, and now Raphael Lassard going backwards in that 92, or the 8 machine. It gets passed by the 92 of Dexter Stacy.
Got our eyes on the battle between Lapsevich and Kennington, with the leader just a little bit up in front. The 96 of Cameron trying to put the finishing touches on one here today. Still a long way to go in this one. 92 as they cross the stripe remain.
Gary Clute faster than Kevin Lacroix, just trying to find a way around that number 74. He drives it up the inside. There was not much room between the 74 and the 59 as they race through 1 and 2, but Gary Clute trying to complete the pass down in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Clute leading the pack, number 2 here. Top 3 have pulled away. And then you got Watson back up on his horse. I gotta think they must have fixed that power steering, or his arms are gonna look like Popeye by now.
He'll look like Jason Momoa when he gets out of that race car.
Psalms tattoos. Down we go. It is still Cameron with about a 2-car length lead on the Lapsevich 20.
Kevin Lacroix, remember, our points leader coming into today, tied with Alex Tagliani, so it's a great points day between, if you compare Tagliani, but there's so many other drivers within striking distance. Kevin Lacroix looks like he might be fading back just a little bit.
Yeah, and if you're fading at all, you can't be pushing it now. Speaking about pushing, Kennington on the back bumper. Lapsevich shoving him through 3 and 4 to move the youngster out of the way. Can't do it, though. He'll hold tight on the bottom.
Some gentle bumper loving from DJ Kennington on the 20 of Trayton Lapsevich, sizing him up through 1 and 2. Kind of takes a higher entry to come down across the racetrack and get a good run down the backstretch.
I like that line DJ's got there. If it can pay off for a few more laps, it is going to really work out for him here.
That 17 machine is just handling so well. And then the battle for 4th between Gary Clute and Brandon Watson. They both just got around Kevin Lacroix, and they've driven away from the 74. And hats off to Dexter Stacy in the 92. That Bully's Truck Stop 92. He's having a great run today as well.
Sard trying to find a bit of speed. He lost in the middle of that run. Was up there for a bit, now has faded back And it's still Marc-Antoine Cameron out front and stretching it out a little bit each and every lap ahead of the Trayton Lapsovich 20.
Kennington pressuring Trayton Lapsovich in the 20. Dexter Stacy pressuring Kevin Lacroix right up on the back bumper of that number 74 as they come off of turn 4.
Oh, 74 way up and loose out of turn 2, Adam.
Right up into the back bumper of the 74 down in 1 and 2. Lacroix saves that car. Raphael Lessard going to get to the inside. Kevin Lacroix guaranteed a tenth of a second faster when you make that Frenchman angry.
And that they did.
But moved Dexter Stacy up into that 6th position in the 92. He enjoyed his first career podium finish. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park back in May.
Man, he was happy. He needed a run like that.
Yeah, big smile on the face of that number 92. There's a driver who went south. He ran in the Xfinity Series and had some fun, but just didn't have the level of success that they might have wanted. So come back to Canada, have a good time driving a race car, and be competitive. That's all most race car drivers want.
80 laps to go here as the leader will cross the stripe. Your top 10, Marc-Antoine Cameron, Trayton Lapsovich, DJ Kennington, Gary Clute, and Brandon Watson, 1 through 5. 6 through 10 will be Dexter Stacy, Raphael Lessard, Kevin Lacroix, Bergeron, and Dilly round up 9th and 10th.
And as you look through this field, you know, you've got the Paillet cars. Trayton Lapsovich is a McCall car. DJ Kennington is a White Motorsports, that number 17. So a little bit of everything, and it's great to see various chassis builders seeing success.
Cameron still a long way from the back end of the field, so he won't have any lap cars to deal with for a little while.
Everyone's so fast. I thought we were going to have a lot of traffic today, but even the slow cars are running quickly out there. I mean, TJ Renamato, Sarah Thorne, towards the back of this pack. Sure, they're a couple of tenths of a second off, but that's nothing.
Really, when you consider how green they both are to these cars.
Absolutely. Wow, Renamato got way up the racetrack there in turn number 2. Sarah Thorne took evasive action. Looks to the inside, doesn't quite drive underneath that 2 machine. TJ Renamato, one of the happiest drivers in the field, a very successful businessman, supports a lot of other race teams out here, and always enjoys what he's doing.
Off of 4, now right in front of the leader of these cars, and he caught them quickly.
And Sarah Thorne's doing what you're supposed to do. She's running a predictable line, and really Cameron should be going to the outside. If that's what Thorne's doing, is staying to the bottom of the racetrack, and she is. Cameron looking to get to the inside. So a bit of a stubborn move by Cameron, the race leader, and it cost him a lot of ground.
Well, fortunate for him, Lapsovich couldn't capitalize. He jumped up to the outside lane when he saw the 20 pulling down, and here comes Kennington right to the back bumper, almost into that quick sticker on the side of the Lapsovich machine.
So that closes in our battle in the top 3 and really allowed Gary Clute to close in as well. So the 59, the 9 on the same half straightaway or so as the race leaders. And Gary Clute is really doing what they expect the leaders to do. Go to the outside of the lap cars. Sometimes more challenging than others.
As Watson works his way around the Thorne, 28. Cameron stretching out once again up front.
Oh, Dexter Stacy up into the outside wall off of turn number 4. Let's keep an eye on that 92. He slapped the concrete hard.
Yeah, pancaked that tire a little bit. You can see it when it comes around. All kinds of concrete dust on the right rear of this car coming off of turn number 4.
We'll see if there's any lingering damage to that race car because he hit it square and sound. We'll also see if there's any hard feelings from the 74 of Kevin Lacroix as he closes in on that 92.
Still watching the battle out here. Fourth, Gary Clute leading. Brandon Watson's number 9 car, Clute in the 59. Onto the back straightaway they go. Clute trying to make up some more points. Came into tonight in the 4th position. 2 markers back of the leader. He could leave with the point lead today.
Even a trip into the wall for the 92 with Dexter Stacy doesn't seem to have slowed him down very much. And Clinton, you're absolutely right. I mean, anybody could wind up near the top of the points that were in the top 10 coming into today.
Well, if Lacroix, Clute, or Cameron can win this race, they're most likely going to leave with the point.
Dexter Stacy up the racetrack. Raphael Lessard going by. He's going to split the difference between Stacy and the lap car of Sarah Thorne. Now Raphael goes to the outside of Thorne. Let's see if Dexter Stacy tries to pinch Kevin Lacroix down. I'm not sure if he'll have it.
Lacroix on the back bumper of the Thorne 28. Oh, he gets her around. They get together. Bergeron gets in there as well in the field trying to scatter.
And that is the tough spot. That's the spot where Brandon McFarland said you're going to need to have great communication with your spotter. If they tell you there's trouble, you got to get woed up. And we saw Larry Jackson, the veteran of all veterans out there, just about get caught up in that mess.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem for Thorne. She'll get the car fired, turn around.
I didn't expect Lacroix to get into the 28. I did expect Lacroix to get into the 92.
Get another look at it here.
And the hole kind of opened up to the inside, but it closed up pretty quick. The dog-eat-dog world out there. Sarah Thorne gets that car turned around. The pace car slowed down a touch. No harm, no foul. Look at that, Clinton. My wife likes our voices so much, she's gone right down to sit directly in front of the speakers.
She just waved to let everybody know who's married to you. I don't know if I'd admit that, Ange.
We all answer to somebody.
I don't even want her to be my work wife. I don't know how you're his real wife.
Well, as long as I haven't had to make a decision in 22 years.
We both just tell you what to do?
Should we be dancing to this song? Is that what you're saying, Mike? We should be busting a move? Love it. We were out at the Martini Bar last night. We were out at a few bars, and at one point, great live band going. Someone said, "You gonna go out on the dance floor?" No, I am not. There is an unwritten 6-foot rule. Once you pass 6 feet, you no longer belong on the dance floor. Maybe a wrestling ring.
Hey, when you guys were facing off against each other, I was there eating a burger. I was like, wow, that's a fight I'd like to see.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Not much of that either.
As your wife turns around and gives you the dirtiest look ever. Well, when Adam...
Mike and his 5 kids, he is obviously a lover.
Yeah.
Or a fighter, because they could be making up. You just don't know, Clinton. One to go. TJ Renamato gets the free pass.
We have the most fun when we're tired or late in a race. We just start. I said this, one of the guys as we're coming down. I don't know if we should be talking about that, Mike, but it's your place. We allowed to talk? So I come in today and I said, wow, Mike, it's only like 8 a.m. That looks like that's a beer, and it was a beer.
Daytime.
I thought it was a can of Coke.
Sometimes you drink in the daytime, sometimes you drink in the nighttime. It's one or the other. Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96 will try to hold off the young charging 20 of Trayton Lapsevich.
Gets set to roll. Mike Sherray holds him up, drops the rag, and away we go.
Good launch by both drivers on the front row, down into 1 and 2. Lapsevich with a strong arc on the outside, able to keep his nose to the outside of Cameron, and he'll drive it deep into turn number 3.
Yeah, I don't think he likes being up there, though, but he'll have to try it if he's going to get around that 96 who runs so good on the bottom. Now he'll think about pulling back in line. Doesn't go to the bottom just yet. Watson up to 4th behind DJ Kennington now.
Top 4 single file. Then we've got Raphael Lessard on the inside of Gary Clute. They battle side by side, the 8 and the 59. Then Dexter Stacy and Kevin Lacroix dancing again down into turn number 1. and Dexter Stacy had to stand on the brakes to avoid the back end of the 74 of Lacroix.
Roll it back to the middle of 3 once again. Clute just ahead of that battle. Stacy on the backside of the Lacroix 74. Everybody off of 4, clean that time.
Tell you, a driver we really haven't talked about today, but he's done a good job out there. JP Bergeron in the number 1. Just a solid top 10 run. That's what you have to do in this series, Clinton. Stay on the lead lap as the race gets down towards the end. He's still got quite a bit of race car to work with. Looks like the hood is buckled a little bit on that number 1, so probably on one of these restarts or when the yellow is called, he's made a bit of contact, but you won't see much aerodynamic issue with these race cars.
Well, he's got a new McCall chassis, so we'll see how that one will play out for Bergeron. One of the best builders around.
Gary Clute to the inside of Rafael Lessard. That's a battle for the 5th spot down the back straightaway.
Lessard and Clute side by side off of 4 they come. Clute will have the position this time out into 1.
And now Kevin Lacroix giving a push to Rafael Lessard off of turn 2 trouble. Turn number 2, Wallace Stacy in the 66 goes around, pointed the wrong way.
He'll get going.
Yeah, that was it was a lazy spin there. It was kind of all by himself. He was in a bit of a pack, but I don't think there was any contact. Just swapped ends in a big hurry out there.
We find ourselves under yellow once again here.
Not a mark on that number 66 either, so innocent spin there. Wallace is the father of Dexter Stacy in the 92. So it had been a long, long time since he raced on the same track with his son. They used to run dirt modifieds together in Eastern Ontario. But the opportunity to come race this season with him in the NASCAR Pinty Series brought a big smile to his face. Wallace Stacy almost always happy.
And let's talk about points here coming into today. Obviously, things are very tight.
So Kevin Lacroix and Alex Tagliani were tied for the points lead. Alex Tagliani is many laps down, running out on the racetrack in the 17th spot. Nope, my timing and scoring has not updated in a long, long time.
It won't be much better than that.
No, probably not, but the laps completed will be different. So we'll wait for that to come to life. Tagliani is having a bad day. Kevin Lacroix is having a good day. Marc-Antoine Cameron, Gary Clute, 3rd and 4th in points. They're having a good day. LP Dumoulin, who was 5th, not a good day. Then you got Brandon Watson, DJ Kennington, Trayton Lapsevich. Solid days for them. Andrew Ranger fell out of the race early, and then JP Bergeron rounding out the top 10. So we are going to see some shuffling in the points for sure. Who's going to come out of this race with the points lead? Is it going to be Kevin Lacroix? Is it going to be Marc-Antoine Cameron? Maybe Gary Clute?
This could be the day that we look back on that made or break someone's season.
And that's usually how it goes in this series. It's a moment. It's a moment in the season where things either fall apart or come together for these drivers. 1 to go. Marc-Antoine Cameron with the lead. Trayton Lapsevich gave him a bit of a run on the high side, but it looked like he was just trying to hang out there long enough to drop back to the bottom. Is it time for DJ Kennington to get aggressive? We're into the last 50 laps of this race, Clinton. I dare say it is time for him to get aggressive.
49 to go. 48 to go when they take the green. Here in the Pro Line, 225 presented by Quick Fire Starters. Give us the green, Adam.
Oh, even start by Cameron and Trayton Lapsevich. They race down into turn number 1. Cameron just hugs that inside concrete. Trayton Lapsevich with a good run down the backstretch.
Behind them, Kennington, the 17. On the outside, the Watson 9 going for 3rd. We talked early on that this could have been Watson's day. Then he had power steering trouble. And now he's back up on the outside, trying to get into a podium position here.
Racing hard is that 9. His story similar to the 17 of DJ Kennington. Trouble in the early part of this race, and they've had to fight back from the back of the pack. But here they are, 3rd and 4th. But do they have the speed that our leaders have?
Watson took a look to the inside, had to stay back in line behind the 17 of Kennington. Cameron continues to dominate this race like he's done the others so far this year, but hasn't got one yet.
No, but he's not pulling away from Trayton Lapsevich. Lapsevich able to run a little bit lower on the racetrack. but he's not getting the drive off the corner that the 96 of Cameron gets.
Lapsevich has also told us he's been working on his gamesmanship to make sure he's got tires at the end, not using them when they don't need to be. He might be saving something for that go time.
He does look to be putting the pressure on Cameron in the 96. They work down into 3 and 4, just half a car length between first and second place. And Lapsevich, a full half car width lower than Marc-Antoine Cameron on corner exit. That 20 machine is rolling.
That's the battle for the lead, the top two right there. 96 of Cameron and the Paye Chevrolet. Behind him, it's the RGC, quick with 20 of Trayton Lapsevich.
DJ Kennington can't like what he's seeing. He's watching those leaders pull away. It's only 6 car lengths, but it has to feel like an eternity to DJ Kennington, just not able to run the same lap times. He's got to hope that the two leaders start to use each other up and wear out those tires.
Yeah, just stay patient and hope for another yellow and another shot. Still too early to push that hard with 40 to go as they come by the stripe this time.
JP Bergeron to the inside of Raphael Lessard in that one machine. We talked about him just a short while ago, quietly having a great run. Bergeron gets around Raphael Lessard up to the 7th spot.
Watching the battle out there between Dexter Stacy, Raphael Lessard, and the 18 machine. And yellow is out.
Yellow is out. Sarah Thorne up between 1 and 2. Doesn't look like she's made any contact. Just got that car around. Right now on the lead lap we have 13 cars. Brian Cathcart still on the lead lap in that 71. So the veteran from Peterborough, Ontario, having a good drive out there. He's in the 13th spot. Wallace Stacy is just 2 laps down. So unofficially, Wallace Stacy will get the free pass here, and that'll put him to 1 lap behind the race leaders.
Continuing to click laps off here under yellow. Track looks clean. Wait for the pace car to pick up the field. We should be good to go here shortly as soon as the lineup is good.
Now we're finally seeing some damage on the 66 of Wallace Stacy on the right rear corner of that race car. Not sure what it's from, but the car had looked pretty clean up until this point. So who's it going to be, race fans? Marc-Antoine Cameron in that GM Paye number 96, looking for win number 1 on the season. He has had the speed. Trayton Lapsevich, high school graduate in the number 20. DJ Kennington, the longtime veteran, the only driver in this race who has competed in every NASCAR Pinty Series race since the inception, since 2007.
Mark Tilley back in the pits in the 64 car. They also have a teammate through the window there checking out something with him. See what they can figure out.
Yeah, work being done on that 64 machine, and it's not lengthy work. Stops, gets the service. He'll head back out onto the racetrack. We should be fairly soon ready to get back to it. I see a safety vehicle up in turn number 2, making the hard right turn there to exit the racing facility.
Dudley will come around, grab the tail end of the field. It will be 35 to go when we go back to green. Maybe not. More than that. Less than that. Probably 34, 33 to go.
So one of the tricks when you're at our races, the NASCAR Pinty Series, watching live, is to follow Todd Lewis. Todd Lewis is our pit road reporter. He's got Frank with him. And actually, right now, they're going into the LP Dumoulin number 47 trailer. So probably looking to have a word with LP about things that happened earlier in the race. But if you ever see them running up or down pit road, find where they're going. That is where the action is. They have spotters on the radio monitoring what the teams are talking about at all times. Once again, Cameron in the 96, he's done a good job on these restarts, holding off young Trayton Lapsevich in the 20. The 9 of Brandon Watson going to restart in the 4th spot. DJ Kennington in the 17 going to restart 3rd. They have just not had the speed to keep up with the lead duo.
Lights off on the pace car. Mike Charay holds the green high and proud as we get ready to go once again from Eastbound Speedway Park here in Avondale, Newfoundland and Labrador. What a great weekend it's been. Here's the closing laps coming up now. Final 30 or so to go.
Once again, a good even start. Look at that. The top 4 rows still side by side as they race off of turn number 2. Trayton Lapsevich edging ahead of the 96 of Cameron. Can we finally see an outside move? Cameron runs him up the racetrack, way up the racetrack. Holy moly. Does Trayton Lapsevich let that slide, or does he look to seek revenge? That could have got ugly. We've seen a lot of cars slap the wall there coming off of turn number 4.
Got way out of the groove that time. I also saw contact back there between Kennington and Watson as they know it's time to get moving.
A little bit of donut on the right side of DJ Kennington's number 17. Kevin Lacroix getting used up, sliding backwards through the top 10. He's trying to fight off JP Bergeron. Bergeron drives it up the inside, deep down into 3. Whoa, TJ Rinamato, hang on to her, buddy.
Nice save by the 2 car, way up out of the groove in turn number 4. Able to keep it together.
That car was way up there. The farther up the track you go, the less grip there is, the more marbles there is. So Rinamato doing a nice job. A little deeper, Larry Jackson to the inside of Rafael Lessard. That's a battle for the 9th spot.
Clute and Bergeron battling for position number 5. What a great run for Bergeron he has going right now.
DJ Kennington up on the outside of Brandon Watson. Brandon Watson moves up to the 3rd spot. Whoa, Larry Jackson and Rafael Lessard go for a slide through turns 1 and 2. They both gather it in, but give that spot to Rafael Lessard.
197 up on the board. That leaves 28 to go as we get to the bottom side of this one. Cameron still in control of the field. Watson has faded back in 3rd place, not in a challenging, but also not into the clutches of DJ Kennington, who's got Clute on his back bumper.
Yeah, Kennington has to look into the mirror just a little bit. Not sure if he might have used up the tires on that 17 getting back through the field, but he just doesn't seem to have quite the pace of the leaders at the moment. And this pack is really tight right now from 4th all the way back to 8th.
Good race in here today. Series first ever visit to this track. And the leader comes around at him to put 200 on the board. It's 225. So 25 to go.
25 laps to go. A Saturday night shootout here on Sunday afternoon.
And you look at the front end of the Bergeron one there, Adam. It looks like he's got some fiberglass issues, or is that just tape?
No, he's buckled the hood on that. He's made some contact there in the one machine. Again, as long as the hood pins stay in, if the hood doesn't fly up in front of the windshield of that one machine, he's going to be just fine out there.
What kind of finish do we have coming here? You know, at sunset, we saw 2 drivers get together and Trayton Lapsevich become the victor. It could happen here, and Watson could end up with it.
Marking Antoine Cameron, he will do what it takes to keep the lead. He doesn't mind getting down and dirty, going elbows up. Trayton Lapsevich in that number 20. He's learned a lot in his short time in the NASCAR Pinty Series. There has to come a time when you're willing to do what it takes to get the win, because somebody will be. Oh, trouble in turn number 1. Sarah Thorne goes around with a little bit of help from Wallace Stacy. Stacy got to the inside of the Thorne number 28.
Yellow flies again.
Actually, it works out pretty well for Wallace Stacy. He should get the free pass out of the deal. Get back on the lead lap in that number 66. So a self-serving.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Well, it happens.
I'm not saying he did it that way, but you are.
I think it was just circumstantial, but afterwards you may think, that worked out.
Super genius.
Well, this is going to be a shootout, folks. The closer you get to the end of the race, cautions breed cautions, and the level of aggression is pretty much going to be maxed out for these drivers. They have flown, they have driven a long, long way to come out here and put on a show at Eastbound International Speedway. They are not going to leave thinking, I'm glad I finished 4th instead of fighting for 3rd. That they're out there to get what they can get. In the big picture, Kevin Lacroix I'm sure he's not thrilled that he slid back through the field, but he knows that his main adversary, Alex Tagliani, had a bad day. So he's got to talk himself down, take the positive out of today. He does not have a winning car. If he can come out of here with a top 5, that's a great day for Kevin Lacroix. Gary Clute, I was probably thinking, boy, if I can pick up 1 or 2 spots, I could come out of here with the points. There's just so many different storylines. But if you're Marc-Antoine Cameron, you're thinking, this is my day. I've seen enough races slip away this year. I'm not letting another one go.
No, I'm with you. I'm sure he's got that attitude as well. White. Well, 1 to go. Not the white, but 1 to go here from Mike Charret.
NASCAR's done a great job today. Sharpie, the race director, Sherry Putnam, the series director. These have been quick yellows. And they've done a good job at keeping the show rolling.
I agree.
So once again, Trayton Lapsevich up on the outside, Marc-Antoine Cameron on the inside. Cameron drove in so deep to 3 and 4 with Lapsevich on the outside, just about took them both up into the outside wall. Trayton Lapsevich has shown a lot of patience. Those 2 red lines on the inside wall, that is the restart area. Marc-Antoine Cameron fires first. He gets to choose where to restart, anywhere in the vicinity of those 2 red lines.
Pretty quick pace as they get on it. Cameron to the bottom. Lapsevich to the outside with Clute trying to fill up the bottom. Behind the 9 of Watson, who slops up underneath the 20 of Lapsevich, and we got a 3-car battle for the lead.
Brandon Watson has shown he's got the speed. Marc-Antoine Cameron trying to pinch that 96 car down. He was sliding up the track, but Lapsevich had enough of a lane to get a great run down the front stretch. Trayton Lapsevich in that 20 still hanging on to the outside.
Got to ride a bit harder on the top side, and they get together out of 4. And here comes Watson to the inside. 3 cars going at it for the lead.
Trayton Lapsevich has shown an enormous amount of patience, but it can only last so long. At some point, he's got to pull the pin.
These two know each other. Watson and Lapsevich raced a lot in the other Ontario series the past couple of seasons. They know what each other's tendencies are. What they don't know is what Cameron's intentions are.
Well, Trayton Lapsevich, he's got to live on a 3-strike rule, and Marc-Antoine Cameron has already used up 2 of them.
Cameron pulls out a little bit now ahead of the Lapsevich 20. Watson, Kennington, and Clute round out the top 5 right behind them.
Bergeron got to the inside of Kevin Lacroix, wasn't able to make that move. I still look at Lapsevich. They're both running the same line through 3 and 4, but Trayton Lapsevich with a better line through 1 and 2. He's able to get to the bottom and stay to the bottom, although that time Cameron ran a better line. Marc-Antoine Cameron has to run away and stay away from Trayton Lapsevich, and he's got 11 laps left to go.
The question is, can he stay out front? A long race here. Lapsevich has slowly stalked his way into that position, and now he's going to try and chase after this leader, but I don't know, Adam. He looks like he can't hang with him just yet.
Cameron is a hair quicker the last time by. Let's check him out this time, and Cameron's a little bit quicker again. So Marc-Antoine Cameron had a little bit left in the tank out there, but these drivers are getting racy. Bergeron, Dexter Stacey, Raphael Lessard. They're working each other over something fierce out there. Lessard gets into the left rear corner. J.P. Bergeron drives to the inside of a turn 4.
Take that spot. Into 1 they go. They both roll up a little bit higher than they both would have liked, I'm sure. Dilly in the mix as well in the car number 64.
DJ Kennington putting the pressure back on. Brandon Watson in that number 9. That's a battle for the 3rd spot as we're down well inside the final 10 laps of this one, folks.
Cameron in that Paillet Chevrolet car has been fast a lot of these venues so far, trying to put a win in the column today. Lapsevich up on his wheel, trying to reel down that 96 car that got him earlier.
Cameron just has great drive off the corner, lap in and lap out. He's just able to pull off the corner in that 96 machine.
Cameron has some gap now out front of the 20, who has a huge margin over the 9 of Brandon Watson. As they come around here, Adam, 5 laps to go.
Lapsevich was a little bit quicker last time. Let's see this time at the stripe. Nah,
Marc-Antoine Cameron back on top. So right now, it is Cameron's race to lose in that 96 as he opens a bit of a gap. Ooh, contact between Wallace Stacey in the 66 and Brandon McFarland in the 56 on the front stretch.
They'll make that one happen without issue. And now Kennington on the back end of the 9 of Watson as they battle for position number 3.
Lap traffic might become a factor as Cameron coming off of turn number 4 is nearly a full straightaway, but they are turning lap times much faster than Sarah Thorne and Brandon McFarland. That's what's in the windshield of Marc-Antoine Cameron. The best race right now is the race for 3rd. DJ Kennington pressuring Brandon Watson. He drives it deep down into turn 3.
So with 2 laps to go, do you think Cameron can catch those lap cars, Adam? I'm not sure. We'll have to see how quickly they are progressing around, but I don't think he's going to see it.
I think he is. White flag going to come out, 224 laps. This could come down to lap traffic. Here goes Cameron driving into turn number 1. Sarah Thorne right in front of our race leader. He's got to make the move quickly. Drives to the inside of the number 28. Marc-Antoine Cameron, it's been a troubled season for the driver, the number 96. He's going to bring it home in the Pro Line 225. Trayton Lapsevich second. DJ Kennington rounds out the podium.
Right on. Great job. We'll give you the full, complete rundown as Adam Ross goes down to greet our winner, Marc-Antoine Cameron. We'll wait for Adam Ross to get down in position and have a few words with our winners. Marc-Antoine Cameron handed the checkered flag. And he will get ready to jump out here and be greeted. Marc-Antoine Cameron going to take a victory lap. How about it, fans? Put your hands together for the winner of the inaugural Pro Line 225 presented by Quick Wick Fire Starter here at Eastbound International Raceway. Mark's been quick through all these events this season, finally nails one down. And we'll get ready to send it down to Adam Ross.
Marc-Antoine Cameron finishing his victory lap, GM Paillet number 96. What a year it's been for the driver from St. Leonard d'Aston, Quebec. In the number 96, he'll be greeted by Todd Lewis and the TSN crew, and we will await our second and third place drivers, Trayton Lapsevich and DJ Kennington. They'll come down here and join us on the front straightaway, but folks, stick around. We need a big favor from you race fans. When Marc-Antoine Cameron climbs out of this race car, we want to hear the enormous welcome that we've received down here in Newfoundland, so wait for it. He's pulling his helmet off right now. We will give you the cue, and we would appreciate a huge round of applause. Cameron getting the helmet off, getting the various pieces of equipment undone here in the race car that he needs. Throwing on the winner's hat. He can hear you now, folks. How about a round of applause for Marc-Antoine Cameron? Race fans, we're going to get a word with our second place finisher. How about a round of applause for Trayton Lapsevich, driver of the number 20. Trayton, I can only imagine that had to be a little frustrating. Cameron, you had to feel how much he wanted this one, but he used you up pretty good a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a different story if he would have given us a lane there. It was about 3 restarts in a row. Almost got him on the outside, and he just run me in the fence on the front stretch. So it is what it is. I was driving that car 200% at the end. Just a big thanks to my whole FBM, RGC Sports, Quick, number 20 team. We had a great car, and I love the track. So thank you, Newfoundland, for having us.
There you have it, Trayton Lapsevich with a solid second place run. We'll try to get DJ Kennington. DJ Kennington, you said after the last race in Quebec, watch for you in Newfoundland because you were coming for it. First off, how about a round of applause, folks? Didn't put on. But DJ, you sure did put on a show, but not the way I'm sure you intended. That right front had to be so heartbreaking so early.
Yeah, but there's only one thing you can do there is blame me. I hit the wall in the back straightaway and flattened it myself, so just a rookie mistake, I guess. But we fought back hard with the Castrol Edge Dodge. It was really good. Just got way too loose there at the end. Had nothing for the front two, but thank you very much for having us back. I came here in 2018 and ran a late model race. I loved it so much, and glad to be back on the Rock. And it's great to see all you people here, and hopefully we'll be back again next year.
There you have it, DJ Kennington with a solid podium finish and a lot of appreciation for the fans here in Newfoundland. And now for the man of the hour, Marc-Antoine Cameron, getting congratulations from his crew. What a season it's been, Mark. We could tell from where we were standing you weren't going to give this one up today.
Yeah, I mean, that car was awesome. Even at Chaudière, we lead a lot of lap, and not the fastest car on qualify, but the car is so good on the long run, and we proved that again today. So happy for my crew. They did an awesome job all winter long to work, The engine builder, well, not the engine builder, the engine fab did a great job. But at the end, it's a team effort, and we win as a team and we lost as a team. So I'm so proud of the team, Payet Racing Team, and Chevy is up behind us too.
And talk about your experience. I see you've got the family down here. Has it been a good time in St. John's?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love the fans. Thank you so much to be here today, and we're gonna be here next year for sure.
There you have it. Marc-Antoine Cameron, the winner today. How about it for our top? Marc-Antoine Cameron, Trayton Lapsevich, and a microphone that works sometimes. We'll send it back up to you, Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks, Adam Ross. Great job today. Thank you so much for everybody being here with us this weekend. We really appreciate you coming out for the NASCAR event. Hold on, we get you going there, Mike. There you go. We'll bring Mike James back in. Mike, fantastic fan base you've got here. Fantastic staff. Thanks so much on behalf of everybody, NASCAR, TSN, everybody. You great fans. You made us all feel so welcome, and you heard all the drivers. They cannot wait to come back here. Why can't it just be next year, next weekend, Mike?
Yeah, too bad it couldn't be twice a year, but you guys have been awesome to have as guests, and I know you had a warm welcome, and it's going to continue that year after year. Next year, we got a full year to plan. Festivities will be twice as large, and congratulations to our winners here this afternoon, man. It's been totally jacked up here. Being in the passenger seat and watch you guys here, it's like you just want to jump in, but amazing time, and congratulations to all teams that made it here, and hope to have you back next year.
Marc-Antoine Cameron will take the Codfish home from the first ever Proline 225. Presented by Quick here at Eastbound. What a great weekend we've had in Newfoundland. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Don't forget, catch it on TSN next week. We'll talk to you soon. Travel safe.